Wednesday. It's Wednesday night racing at Charlotte Motor. Wait a minute. Hold it. It's Thursday, right? Yeah. Okay. Back from the top. Take 2. 3, 2, 1. Thursday. It's Thursday night racing at Charlotte Motor Speedway. 40 of the best drivers in the world will push their machines to the limit. Who will crash? Who will pass? Who will knock them on their path? Find out tonight, because what day is it, Jeff?
Thursday.
That's right. It's Thursday. You know, as long as I'm here, maybe I should also do a Friday version.
No, not happening. FS1 welcomes you to Charlotte Motor Speedway for the NASCAR Cup Series. Presented by Geico. Bright sunshine much of the late afternoon to dry this racetrack after Tropical Depression Bertha depressed us all last night. Hi, everybody. Mike Joy with Jeff Gordon. We're just 4 days out from stock car racing's longest night. Jeff, what's the carryover to this short race tonight?
There's no doubt, Mike, these drivers learned a lot. The teams learned a lot about what to expect the car to do and their competitors. What I love about this midweek and these shorter races takes me back to some of the early stages of my career, where it's not about long runs as much. It's not about strategy. It's about getting those elbows up, getting on top of that wheel, and getting aggressive. And I think we're going to see these drivers get extremely aggressive, especially on restarts tonight.
Well, Brad Keselowski, if you stayed up late with us, he won the Coca-Cola 600 in a dramatic green-white checker finish. After the chess game of who would pit and who would not, he won the race for fallen hero Sergeant Donovan Reap and scored a big one. Meanwhile, Chase Elliott has had 2 career heartbreakers, 2 race nights in a row, both in the same week.
Oh, there's no question. I know I made a mistake and just misjudged the gap. They're upset. They're mad. I'm not just going to fix it and we're going to have go ice cream tomorrow, you know, so they're going to have to dwell on it, and the repercussions of it I'm sure I'm going to have later on down the road.
You know, you make decisions and live with them, and you know, it wasn't the pit call. I think being on offense is fine, and those, like I said, those guys are going to do whatever the opposite of what you do is. So part of it.
Well, let's bring in our crew chief, Larry McReynolds. Larry, when you pit as the race leader with 2 laps to go, wow.
Yeah, and here we are 4 days later trying to figure out what was the right call, what was the wrong call. When it comes to calls, no 2 scenarios are the same. Caution comes out with 2 laps to go, 19 cars on the lead lap. All the drivers in red, including Chase Elliott, who was leading the race that time, they come to pit road. Brad Keselowski, Jimmy Johnson, and 6 other drivers stayed out. That ended up being the winning call. Jeff, in my book, no matter how many laps on your tires, when you're controlling the race, especially for a 2-lap shootout, the bottom line is stay out. Do not pit.
Well, it's an easy call if you have that crystal ball, Larry. And you know 6 or 7 cars behind you are going to stay out. And that's exactly what happened for Brad Keselowski and Jimmy Johnson, who started on the front row. That clean air was magic. Brad goes on to win the race. But we all know it's not that easy to make that call, because you do know they're probably going to do the opposite of whatever you do.
Well, maybe the 3rd time in 8 days will be the charm for Chase Elliott. Vince Welch caught up with him.
Yeah, Mike, we could easily be talking about Chase having a 2-race winning streak, but certainly that's not the case. Chase, after what's happened the last 2 races, what's the mindset coming into this one tonight?
Yeah, just try to get our car driving like it did on Sunday. I mean, felt like we did all the things that we need to do to put ourselves in a good position. It just didn't work out. So we'll see how it goes.
What's the aggression level, because it's such a shorter race tonight?
Yeah, I think the big thing is you want to get your car driving as best it can be early. So I think if you have to make big adjustments, you want to make them on that first stop, and then try to have good pit stop for time after that. So we'll try our best.
Mike?
Yep. Appreciate it.
Thanks, Vince. Now, Sunday night, with Jimmy Johnson's post-race technical disqualification, that moved William Byron up to 20th. So with the invert, he will start from the pole as they invert the top 20 Sunday finishers, and his teammate Alex Bowman will be alongside. We're going to go across the state of North Carolina for tonight's invocation.
Hi, I'm Chaplain Brian Coyne, the Division Chaplain for the 82nd Airborne Division, Fort Bragg, North Carolina. And I invite you to join me today in prayer. Almighty God, we thank you for the multitude of blessings you have provided us in this nation, and especially today for the men and women of our armed forces who have given the last full measure of devotion for our republic and her people. Comfort all of those who mourn them, and help each of us to live our lives in gratitude for the freedom they have provided. And in our current crisis, be with our healthcare workers and all of those on the front line of this current fight. Allow them to bring your hope and healing to all. And for our race today, our drivers and crews, grant them your safety. Be with them and all who watch, giving them your peace. We pray in your powerful and gracious name. Amen.
Her granddad raced on the dirt ovals of Pennsylvania. Please welcome Season 3 winner of The Voice, Grammy-nominated, Platinum-certified recording artist Cassidy Pope with our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting, and air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
It's the fourth race in 12 days for NASCAR Cup Series drivers. Who will join these three winners and hoist the trophy and checkered flag tonight, live on FS1? What do you do? Didn't see that coming.
Let's go win the race, Coleman. Yes, sir.
And that should put Brad Keselowski back in the lead.
Big push coming. Still there, bumper. Still outside. Big push. Still outside. Quarters. You got your quarters. You are clear. You are clear. White flag. One more. Two back. Just you and him. Get your checkered flag here, man. Nice work. Oh, my goodness. Thank you, guys. Hell of a job. I don't even have words. Awesome pit stops, guys. Hope you still got a checkered flag, American flag for me, dude.
Sunday night, Brad Keselowski picked up his 31st career victory here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Vince Welch is with him.
And it was Brad's first win with his new crew chief, Jeremy Bullins. Brad, with a new driver-crew chief combination, bigger win for you or bigger win for Jeremy?
Well, it's harder to pick a combo, but, Jeremy's won before, I've won before, but it's good for both of us. So, I think Vince, getting the victory lane is never a bad thing, and when it's in one of the biggest races of the year, a crown jewel in our sport, It means a lot to me personally. I know it does to the whole team.
From 600 miles to 300 miles, what's the key tonight?
Well, I think starting 20th, it's a long ways to get to the front. But, you know, we got the stage brakes. You got all the pit road strategy. I think you have to be really good on new tires and really careful in the PJ1.
Thanks, Brad.
Thank you.
And he spoke about my favorite part of this format. You take the top 20 finishers from Sunday when you return to the same track later that week and invert them. William Byron, Alex Bowman up front. Chase Keselowski, Brad Keselowski. Chase Elliott, Brad Keselowski. Going to have to come out of row number 10. So, Jeff, who are some other ones to watch tonight?
Well, Ryan Blaney, after finishing third at Charlotte last Sunday, I think he and Todd Gordon are ready to start matching the success of his Penske teammates. Also, Christopher Bell. Yeah, I think every rookie just has this moment where things start to click. I think he had that last week in Darlington, followed that up with a top 10, his first top 10 in the Cup Series here in Charlotte on Sunday. And then Kyle Busch, our defending champion. Hard to believe he's already, he's winless right now in 2020, but he's got a couple runner-up finishes, and he finished second to Chase Elliott in the truck race. I think that has got this driver fired up and ready to get after it.
We're ready to race in Charlotte. Let's go to our Atrium Healthcare workers for tonight's command.
On behalf of healthcare workers who are helping to bring racing back.
Drivers, start your engines.
600 miles Sunday night. Just 60% of that distance is what we'll race tonight. NASCAR is back.
That's right. We fired up the engines and the sport's best drivers have picked up right where they left off.
Here they come for the white flag.
Great job! Hell of a job. Tonight, for the fourth time in just 11 days, we pull those belts tight. Go full throttle and have some fun. This is Charlotte Motor Speedway. This is primetime racing. What's not to love? So let's get this started. It's time for the NASCAR Cup Series on FS1. We've got the love.
I'm a little bit steady, but still a little bit rolling stone. I'm a little bit heaven, but still a little bit flesh and bone. Little foul, little don't know where I am. I'm a little bit holy water, but still a little bit burning. Still just a burning man, just a burning man.
Ready to race in Charlotte, the NASCAR Cup Series on FS1, presented by Geico. Some high clouds there. Whoa, getting dizzy. 78 degrees. Yeah, that's our drone. Winds out of the south at 5. Forecast mostly cloudy. There's some rain way off to the south. Shouldn't bother us. Here's your Geico starting grid for tonight's race. William Byron, third time in 2 years he's been on a pole for a race here at Charlotte. Alex Bowman led 164 laps Sunday. Michael McDowell, who finished 18th. Matt DiBenedetto, 17th. John Hunter Nemechek finished 9th at Darlington, and Eric Almirola will have to drop to the rear unapproved adjustments. Austin Dillon, 14th on Sunday. Joey Logano won here in 2015. Cole Custer, the rookie, finished 12th Sunday. Eric Jones, Chris Buescher, and Christopher Bell, the rookie that Jeff spoke of. Tyler Reddick, another of this promising rookie class. Top 8 in 2 of the last 3. Kurt Busch, 4 top 10s in his last 5 races. And sharing row 8 with Kevin Harvick is Martin Truex, still looking for his first top 5 finish of 2020.
And what do you say we dial him up? Hey, Martin Truex Jr., Jeff and Mike in the Fox Sports Studios. You got us?
Yeah, I got you, Jeff.
Well, man, sun's shining. We're ready to go racing, and maybe 24 hours later, but we're ready. Hey, you finished 6th on Sunday. Your cars have been really strong, especially in the long runs. What about this shorter race tonight? What do you think?
Yeah, we made some adjustments, you know, thinking shorter race and trying to be a little better the other night. So, yeah, we'll see. Best for a Toyota was really strong in the 600. Just,
things didn't quite play out the way we needed them to, but looking forward to it. Have some fun, see what we can do here.
All right, man, we're looking forward to it. Thanks a lot. Have fun.
Guys, have fun up there.
Thanks, Martin. Checking pit road speeds on this second pace lap. The top 20 inverted from Sunday night's finish. The rest of the field starts just where they finished up on Sunday. So let's check in with Larry McReynolds.
Yeah, Mike, this mile-and-a-half track, it has 24 degrees of banking, but there's one spot that's a little bit tricky. On the exit of turn 4, it narrows up to 35 degrees. Sounds wide, but the race cars lunge to the outside wall, never fails. A driver gets pinched off there, and two cars get together. Plus, that's right where the entrance to pit road is, and that can be a little tricky under green. Let's take a look at our race analysis now. We're going to go 208 laps, 312 miles. Short stages, 55, 60, and 93. Pit road speed, you just saw them checking it, 45 miles per hour. The fuel window, 58 to 62 laps. And Mike, it'll leave me shortened up in stage 1 because of competition caution at lap 20.
Thanks, Larry. So 20 laps to race to start this before the competition yellow. Let's get down to pit road. Any late breaking stories from Vince Welch?
Well, Mike, Kyle Busch, the defending series champion, has yet to win this season, and Kyle says his team is a step behind. I talked with crew chief Adam Stevens about that, and Adam told me that with no practice means you've got to roll off the trailer spot on, and they just haven't been doing that. Means they've been starting the races behind, needing to play catch-up. They made significant setup changes to the race car tonight compared to where they were Sunday, with the hopes of being closer to the sweet spot at the beginning of the race. He'll start 17th. Shouldn't take us long to find out how good they are.
Thanks, Vince. A lot of the favorites will be deep in the field. Denny Hamlin 29th after having that losing the weight problem on the pace lap and going half a dozen laps down. There is Hamlin, 29th, row 15, and all the way back, Jimmy Johnson, whose second place finish was overturned. A technical violation found in post-race inspection meant a disqualification. He ends up 40th, loses all the stage points, drops from 8th to 16th in the standings, was awarded 1 point for his finish. And also back there in the 20th row will be Clint Boyer, who crashed out of the race early and just told his crew on the radio, "I feel like I'm starting halfway from here to the beach."
Of course, Boyer said that. Yeah, boy, hard hit. Suspension failure in that 14 car on Sunday. Just happy to have him back in this field.
Absolutely. The Toyota Camry TRD, all new for 2020, leads the field. Will race 20 laps to the competition caution. Stage 1 is just 55 laps. The total race length, folks, we're going to have you in bed after lap 208 tonight. It's going to be early.
And an interesting choice there early. We talk a lot about starts, restarts, and lane choice. At 24 of William Byron choosing that outside lane. That'll put Matt DiBenedetto as his hopeful pusher going into turns 1 and 2.
And there's our Brady Bunch of onboard cameras. Chase Elliott, Eric Almirola, Ryan Blaney, Ty Dillon.
I didn't see their elbows up yet, Mike.
Not yet.
To get up.
You'll be hearing Tab Boyd, William Byron's spotter, on the start. He is what NASCAR calls the control car, who will bring them down. No passing before start finish. No passing to the left on the initial start of the race. Green flag in Charlotte.
You are clear. 21 half back. Still clear. Right with. Right with. There you go. In line. You're clear. He's still pushing you. He's clear by 3. Off of you by a foot. Still in line. Inside. Inside. Inside.
Matt DiBenedetto steals the lead in turn 3.
Matt DiBenedetto had those elbows up. Oh, already a wreck here.
No.
51 of Joey Gase, and then
Garrett
53,
Smithley.
yeah. Heavy contact. Probably knocked the fuel line off. That looks like the little bit of fuel burning off.
Smithley, you're looking at here, started 33rd. Joey Gase, 36th. Good bit of rear end damage there to Gase's car. Smithley out of the car quickly and okay.
Looking around the car as if maybe something failed on that car, Mike. Usually, you know, when you're a driver and you get out and you've got some questions of how that may have happened, you usually walk around the car to take a look. Of course, he could just be looking to see what kind of damage they had. Those two that made contact and have heavy damage, actually teammates.
A lot of right side damage. Of course, after getting into the wall, the right front is down, and as it all happens, looks like Quinn Houff and Josh Bilicki just got away from that one. Oof. I didn't realize Gase's whole trunk lid had come detached on one side.
Yeah, heavy rear damage, and you can see where Smithley already and smoke underneath the hood. I just wonder if something failed in the right front, and I think maybe he was underneath Joey Gase, maybe even leaking some oil or something, but it looks to me like he just slid into the wall and maybe took somebody out with him.
Not sure if it was a factor in this, but there are reports from other drivers that Tyler Reddick's car is leaking oil. A costly hit for Garrett Smithley and major damage for Joey Gase. Again, Quinn Houff in the 00, Josh Bilicki in the 7, taking evasive action as we're under caution at lap 1. So a rocky start to this one. Caution on the very first lap in turn number 4 for this. Garrett Smithley colliding with Joey Gase. Still under caution. Tyler Reddick, team says he's not leaking oil, nothing on the rear bumper, and not a factor in this incident. So we want to look at the left rear corner of Joey Gase's car. Is there a tire mark there?
There is. It looks to me like the right front of the 53 of Smithley made a little bit of contact with this left rear. I think they got 3 or 4 wide with some cars that were further back. Look at Clint Boyer coming to the inside. They're about to go 4 wide. Right here, they make contact, and I think it cuts the right front tire down of Smithley, and that sends him straight into the wall.
And then Joey Gase spins into the wall with the rear of his car.
Yeah, I think they just made contact when that right front went down and spun him around.
They are trying to repair Gase's car, and they're going to try to repair the power steering on Ty Dillon's car, which is not working. Remember, no practice, no qualifying. Pull the cars off the truck, run them through inspection, and get ready to race. We're going to get ready for this restart, and we want to pay particular attention to the 1.5-mile tracks as Jamie McMurray takes us through the anatomy of a restart.
When leading on a restart, it is crucial to put yourself in the best position to protect your spot. But how do you know which lane to choose? Well, much like real estate, it's all about location. Are you on a short track or road course? It's pretty easy. Take whichever line is preferred in turns 1 and 2. If you want to be low, take the inside. If you want to be high, take the outside. Simple as that. On super speedways, you need to keep an eye on your neighbors. Which drivers will be lining up behind you? A driver that's willing to work with you or one that can push you will help determine this choice. Having a teammate in your rearview mirror makes this decision very easy. Tracks between 1.5 and 2 miles present a whole new set of problems. The rules changes last season meant it became a combination of both the preferred line and the cars in the second row. These variables could change from week to week or even restart to restart, meaning it's harder than ever to find the correct answer. So, you have your line. What's next? On super speedways and some of the intermediates, you give the driver behind you a little wave out the window. They lock onto your bumper and you both take off together. Everywhere else, it becomes a strategic mind game. As the leader, you can take off at any point in the restart zone. Early, late, that's up to you. You're just trying to catch everyone else napping. But if they figure out your strategy, they could beat you at your own game.
Love it.
Thanks, Jamie.
Great stuff, Jamie. And by the way, that driver, his eyeballs got real big. That was William Byron on the back straightaway on the first start when Matt DiBenedetto was pushing him and went to the inside.
Here's a look at it. DiBenedetto starts on the outside of row 2.
Yeah, William Byron did a great job getting that launch. Gets out front. Now he's got DiBenedetto really locked on to his rear bumper. Look at how that car reminds me of a super speedway. Gets to his rear bumper and can push him. He backs away right there, but look, he comes back again, and this time he says, you know what? I pushed you far enough. I'm going to the inside. Remember, no yellow line rule or anything, and goes right on by and takes first place away from William Byron.
That's some Doug Yates horsepower down that back straightaway.
Look, that was a power move.
Yep.
Definitely. And, you know, when you have that big of a rear spoiler, too, you're pushing a lot of air when you're that lead car. So even though you want clean air for the corners on this straightaway, they can get a big draft behind you.
Well, we've all seen how important it is getting to the front on restarts over 600 miles here Sunday night. Here are Ford Performance track facts. Ford has won 4 of the 7 races this season. Joey Logano, Vegas and Phoenix. Kevin Harvick Sunday at Darlington. Brad Keselowski Sunday night here in Charlotte. First win at the Coca-Cola 600 for Ford since Mark Martin in 2002. Still a bit of a mystery with the 8 car of Tyler Reddick. They have decided that's not an oil leak. Reddick 14th. He started 13th.
Yeah, we saw that inside lane with Alex Bowman. Really didn't get the start that William Byron did, so automatically that outside lane is going to progress.
Larry, what were they fixing on Ty Dillon's car?
Yeah, we watched them bring the 13 car to pit road, and I'm going to use our Ford cutaway car to kind of show you the things that they were looking at, Mike. It's power assist, and it actually has a belt, just like what you have on your passenger car. There's the power steering pump right there. They carried belts across there. The belt was good. Up here, that's a remote reservoir. They opened that. They looked down in there. They saw that it had fluid. So I don't think they found anything trying to diagnose what was going on.
We're told they replaced the belt that drives the power steering pump, and there's the fluid check. However, they still have a problem, and Ty's going to have to tough it out. Now, driving a car that doesn't have power steering is one thing. It's hard to turn at low speeds, fine when you get going. Driving a power steering equipped car without power steering, you've got to overcome that pump that's not working. That's going to be a tough night.
Well, and also we saw where Bubba Wallace had an issue with the left front hub last week. These teams have found a way to put a lot more load in the left front. It makes that car even harder to steer.
That'll be work. Coming down for the restart. This time DiBenedetto on the outside of William Byron. Here we go.
Still inside. Still inside. Still inside.
Teammates versus teammates. DiBenedetto,
They're apart now.
Wood Brothers, sort of like a teammate to Joey Logano on that Penske 4 behind them. Oh, they're going to go 3 wide? Maybe, yes. And then William Byron getting a push from his teammate Alex Bowman side by side into 3 and 4.
Nemechek, the man in the middle. And now we're back double wide.
And how about that move by Austin Dillon to go around a few cars, make some moves to get to 5th. Still side by side.
Byron then led that lap, but not by much.
Ooh, a little nervous moment right there as both cars. Oh, William Byron almost makes contact. It seems to me that the inside lane is the preferred lane as they get down here to 3 and 4. But Benedetto able to stay right down on the quarter panel, William Byron. Great battle up front here. Mike, I said this is a short race. They're going to be getting after it.
Here comes Bowman to help Byron and gives him a little push through to the lead.
Now can Alex Bowman, yeah, nice job getting to the quarter panel. That's a perfect way to side draft Matt Benedetto to pull him further back. Maybe Alex Bowman can clear him. Yes, he's going to clear him. So now Hendrick 1 and 2.
You see the lightness of the low groove and the darkness of the upper grooves that have been treated with that traction compound. In his interview, Brad Keselowski said, you got to be careful when you're up there. What's he mean?
Yeah, it takes some heat. It takes rubber to lay down in that traction compound for it to gain grip. It might feel sticky to the touch, but it takes all those things for it to really activate and have the grip that you need to run 180 miles an hour through the corners.
Eric Jones making the pass on Michael McDowell for 6th. There comes Christopher Bell.
Actually, Michael McDowell just a lap ago is to the inside of Joey Logano, trying to pass Joey Logano, but as they got down into 1 and 2, he lost some grip.
I wonder how long it would take last Sunday night's top 5 finishers to work their way forward. Well, here comes Kevin Harvick, who restarted 13th. He's up in the top 10. Kurt Busch there, then Cole Custer, Ryan Blaney, and red and white. Here's your riding with Blaney. Was 3rd Sunday night. Up to 12th.
It's pretty obvious to me, Mike, these drivers are feeling that this is a shorter race. Just the way that they're going about these early moves in this stage of the race. A lot more aggression than what we saw in a 600-mile race on Sunday. And this is why I like the inversion, too. Yes, right now we got some fast cars up front. William Byron, Alex Bowman, they had some issues, finished 19th and 20th. But some of these other cars that are sprinkled in there, you know, it's great to see them get track position and see some of the cars that performed well and results were good on Sunday to come up through there.
Back at 17th, Ricky Stenhouse and Chase Elliott.
Ooh, you can hear Chase Elliott having to really get out of the throttle right there behind Ricky Stenhouse Jr. And Chase Elliott told us as Brad Keselowski goes to the inside, both of these guys started towards the middle of the pack here because of their results on Sunday, but both of them not real thrilled with being in that dirty air right now.
But the best thing for both of them is that leader, William Byron, is not going to get away from them. Competition caution coming in 3 laps.
You know, Mike, with all those cautions that they ran at the beginning, NASCAR, they have the option of running it a little further, so they may go up to close to lap 25.
Thanks, Larry.
Jimmy Johnson, our biggest mover, all the way up to 23rd, starting last. Working on Bubba Wallace. And somebody right ahead of them that really hasn't had a great start to this race so far. Guy we talked to on the radio, Mark Truex Jr.
8th place, Nemechek, McDowell, Bell.
William Byron, pretty comfortable out front.
And Alex Bowman in 2nd has said to his crew the handling is much like it was Sunday night. And that could be bad news for the field because he led more than half the laps Sunday night. There's Bowman 3rd behind Benedetto.
Matt Benedetto feel pretty good about his car in the last couple of laps. He was actually able to get by Bowman. Oh, somebody up high against the wall. 41, Cole Custer.
Did he get up in it? Doesn't look bad.
Might have just jumped a cushion there, Mike.
That could be. Brian Priest going to work on the rookie there for 19th.
The caution is out.
So this will be the competition caution at lap 20. As explained in the virtual drivers meeting or Zoom meeting. Second caution flag of the evening. Friday Night SmackDown is all new every week on Fox. This week, the semifinals of the Intercontinental Championship Tournament as Daniel Bryan faces Jeff Hardy. Plus, Elias takes on the newest member of the SmackDown roster, AJ Styles. Friday Night SmackDown, 8/7 Central. Only on Fox.
All right, Larry Mack. I mean, already not as fast of a pace as we saw on Sunday with some of the lap times I'm seeing. Now it's time to make some decisions on pit road. What are you going to do?
Well, we've only actually run 11 green flag laps. You can run this entire first stage without putting fuel in. If I'm up near the front, here we go again, continuing story. I'm not going to give up that track position. The pace has just not fallen off that much. Now, if I'm back in the pack, I maybe need some adjustments. Good time to come. But I look for some of the guys up front to stay out here.
Pit road is open. 38 cars on the lead lap. Joey Gase has retired his car, and Garrett Smithley went out in that first lap crash.
Oh, there's the first one, Larry, the 22.
Remember, he stayed out the other night and won a stage by staying out.
So most of the lead lap cars are in. Vince?
Well, Mike, you said the 88 of Bowman indicated his car was like it was the other night. Sunday in the 600, that'd be good. He won stage 1 and stage 2 and led the most laps. They took right side tires, made a chassis adjustment, give him a little more security.
Here's your Ram race off pit road. Byron, DiBenedetto, Bowman, just the way they came in. How about Kurt Busch picking up 5 spots? And Christopher Bell plus 3. Reddick and Johnson with big gains.
A lot of 2 tires there.
And William Byron got tagged on pit road.
Now this is the risk when you have this early of a, ooh, yeah, that's heavy damage correlate joint to the right side. If it's in the middle of the door, it might be okay as long as it doesn't get into those fenders, cause a tire rub. But that's the that's the tricky part and dangerous part about coming early with that many cars on pit road and only doing 2 tires.
Clint Boyer, too fast entering. Denny Hamlin, too fast exiting. Larry, what's the protocol? One driver pulling out, another pulling in. There's no yield sign there, so who goes?
Well, again, it's a lot on the shoulders of the crew chief and the spotter to direct traffic. But Jeff pointed it out, when you're doing 2 tires and you've got almost 30 drivers on pit road at one time, this is the downside of that right there. Now, a lot of times, Mike, let me say it's on the crew chief, and that's a lot of damage on that 24 car. But a lot of time it's a crew chief that's doing the traffic. But what I'm hearing, remember the rosters are a little bit short. Crew chiefs are actually down on the ground performing a function on a pit stop.
Well, that'll leave it in the spotter's hands.
We talk about how important aerodynamics are on these cars, especially on that right side. If it fares out that fender there in front of the right rear, it might be okay. Vince, what are you hearing?
Yeah, they're just evaluating the right side damage right now. They're going to change the left side tires, but crew chief Chad Canal said, don't worry about changing the right sides. Just evaluate the damage on the right side. We'll get to it later, but they're going to make that left side tire change, as you see, and off. We'll see if they what they diagnose with that right side, right there in the middle.
The area that would concern me is just where it seals that skirt to the ground. That is a crucial part. Actually, the door being caved in is not a bad thing because it might actually give you a little more side force as that air gets back to that in front of the right rear.
Tonight's aerial coverage provided by Goodyear, recognizing those who are starting to help us all move forward again. Goodyear, the official tire of NASCAR.
Mike, it appears the top 4 drivers stayed out. Logano, McDowell, Blaney, and Bubba Wallace in that 43.
And listen to Joey Logano's spotter, TJ Majors. Starter waves the green. Here we go.
Outside lane doesn't have pushing really tight in here and be defensive at the bottom here. They're all pushing. You guys are all lined up. Blaney's not clear yet. You're clear. Blaney's not clear. He lets you go there. He's one off you. He is clear. He's clear. 34 is going to get a push behind him. 1 back off of him. 2 back from you. All good. And 2 back off of you. He's still clear. Side by side behind him. Same line as you. 3 back. All good.
Jimmy Johnson stuck in the middle as they're 3 wide, pretty well deep in this field.
Boy, I saw a big moment for Jimmy Johnson. The air was sucked off the right side of that car. Great job, great driving to keep it going.
Lightning reported in the area of Charlotte Motor Speedway. And that means our Fox cameramen are going to have to climb down from their perch. Means our director, Artie Kempner, gets to work his magic through the onboard cameras. We have 4 of them tonight. And the RoboCams, the robotically operated, remote-operated cameras that line this speedway. So you're going to get the ground's eye view of racing at Charlotte until the all-clear is given.
Feels like summer has arrived, Mike, with these pop-up thunderstorms.
I saw Chase Elliott in 17th. What do you say we take it to the track and crank it up? Brought to you by Geico. And caution has come out. A spinner off turn number 4 down to the entrance of pit road. Third caution of the night comes out at lap 29. And
see, Brad Keselowski's lost a lot of positions. And we see Matt Kenseth on pit road here.
That's the car that spun, Jeff. We'll have a look at it here. Look at the right side of your screen, the blue car.
Yeah, Matt Kenseth gets really loose there. Did something happen to the 2? Wow.
And you saw Andy Mitchell covering up his camera, which just got that shot before he put it to bed for the lightning up there.
I was trying to understand that spin. We saw the 2, Brad Keselowski, having some issues. I didn't know if maybe he had laid some fluid down, and that's what caused Matt Kenseth to turn around. Either that or Matt Kenseth worked really hard to get that car to turn around, because you saw him go left then right, like maybe something was loose.
Now, Brad was 16th. He is now at the tail end of the lead lap. Kenseth, after the spin and trip to pit road, is 1 lap down. But Brad Keselowski was very slow in the high groove in the corner there.
Mike, usually what that is either a flat tire or a loose wheel. But we're hearing the 2 car had a flat right front.
There's the 2 of Keselowski. He's looking for a hole to get to pit road.
So you see a big loose moment for the 42 of Kenseth. He gathers it up, corrects it, and then it just snaps around again. Boy, he was really lucky that nobody made contact with him.
A strange start to this one. 3 caution flags in the first 30 laps. Team Penske. Joey Logano is your leader. Welcome back to Charlotte Motor Speedway, where the caution is out because Brad Keselowski cut down a right front tire. Matt Kenseth cut down a left rear tire and spun. Coincidence? I wonder. Not really sure. Let's have a look at how the Coca-Cola family of drivers is faring. Joey Logano's the leader. Austin Dillon in the top 10. Bubba Wallace top 20. Newman, Suarez, and Denny Hamlin. Tropical storm Bertha had its way with the track last night, and it moved away as the red flag has just been displayed. You can see off turn number 2, a lot of lightning and a big storm system that has worked its way up here from the south. Hopefully that's not part of that tropical depression that hung around all last night at the Speedway, but it's a system that's going to blow through here pretty quickly, we all hope.
Popped up quick. I hope it gets out of here as quick as it popped up. But, you know, that really explains a lot about Matt Kenseth, because the car jumped loose, and I think when he corrected it, you're in the middle of the banking, it falls back on that left rear, and when there's no air in the tire, it really makes the car kind of do this second lunge to try to, for Matt to try to correct it, and then it finally came around.
Now, in Brad Keselowski's case, he said, yes, I did get up and into the wall. He said, I'm not sure if the tire went down first or if getting against the wall cut down the tire.
Well, and we see a lot with these flared fenders that when the restarts are wild and crazy and they get 3 and 4 wide, it's easy to make contact with one another, and when you do, it's also easy to cut down the tire.
And I thought Sunday night's race had a lot of unexpected events. A caution on lap 1, Garrett Smithley got into Joey Gase. Smithley crashed, as did Gase. They're both out of the race. Competition yellow at lap 20. And now at lap 29, 5 laps after we went back to green, Brad Keselowski cuts down a tire. Matt Kenseth cuts down a tire. One's in the wall, one spins. We're under caution again, and lightning and rain in the area. Now, it has not been a horrible week for Chase Elliott. Yes, the last green flag lap at Darlington, he got spun out when he had a chance to win. And yes, the caution came out with 2 laps to go while he was leading here Sunday night. But in the truck race, with a bounty of over $100,000 on Rowdy Busch in the 51, that 24, Chase Elliott beat Busch to the flag to become the bounty hunter and garner a lot of money for charity. Now, Kyle Busch did an interview with Fox Sports. However, it was unairable at the time, had to be edited, and that's why it was not part of that program. But how about Chase Elliott and that he took somebody's trademark bow as long as his money?
And we can thank Kevin Harvick for getting all that going.
Yes.
Because after Kyle Busch won, I think his 7th straight truck race, he said, all right, guys, I'm putting out a bounty to any Cup driver that wants to go out there and try to beat Kyle Busch.
So 3 winners in all that, and deserve our thanks. First, Kyle Busch for being such a badass in the trucks that they put a price on his head. Second, Kevin Harvick for stepping up and being the first to post that $50,000. And third, the bounty hunter, Chase Elliott, for claiming the cash, all for charity. It's going to a charity to benefit both treatment and research for COVID-19.
And then the bow is just a little added treat for all of that. Yeah. That's so we can continue to build on what's been an interesting rivalry between Kyle Busch and Chase Elliott here of late.
Absolutely. 30 laps are complete, 25 to go in stage 1. Rain, rain, go away.
That's why if it bleeds, I'm on my bended knees. Bertha, don't you come around here anymore.
We're under the red flag here at Charlotte. What do we have to do to get a race in at Charlotte Motor Speedway? I think that's Bruton Smith standing under the rainbow with the pot of gold there.
That's a good sign,
It
Mike.
would be, yes. Yeah, you got to love a rainbow. We are in the Steve Burns studio at Fox Network Center. We're only about 8 miles from the Speedway here in Charlotte, where lightning in the area as that storm center moves off to the east has put us under the red flag briefly in this race. Now, Brad Keselowski's team, they're still not sure what has happened here. He said he had contact, and let me correct, I'm not sure he meant contact with the wall or with another competitor, and not sure, Jeff, whether that's what cut that tire down. And then here comes Matt Kenseth, and he cuts a tire going into the corner.
What I'm sure of is it's already been a wild one, and we just got this thing started, so expect the fireworks to happen, I think, all through this night. I think the urgency of a shorter race, as well as these competitors knowing there was weather on the way. They just weren't sure when it was going to get there, so they wanted to run as many laps and make as many passes as they could, and that's what stacks them up, gets them 3, 4 wide on these starts, and makes it very easy for them to make contact with one another and maybe cut a tire down.
Now, Larry Mack, we don't have any notebook for a 208-lap race at Charlotte Motor Speedway with these cars in this configuration. So how do you work out your race strategy?
Well, I guess I'm going to throw my notebook away but because I've watched Joey Logano jump out there after that last restart, and he was turning some of the fastest laps of the race. I am blown away with only a 55-lap stage one that we only had 4 drivers stay out. We saw it the other night. We're going to see it tonight. Track position is going to be king, and I was just blown away that more drivers didn't stay out than just 4 right there.
You know, one of the things we were talking about Sunday night's finish is that you have to quickly estimate how many drivers you think will stay out versus how many are on the lead lap when you make that decision whether to come in or not. So who does that? Who looks at those cars and says he will, he won't, and how do you determine it?
Well, you learn a little bit of a history, Mike, and when that caution came out the other night, I knew beyond a shadow of a doubt that the Penske cars up there, Brad Keselowski especially, he always stays out. It does not matter who his crew chief is. I think Brad makes the call, but I knew Brad was going to stay out. I had a really good feeling that Ryan Blaney was going to stay out, but I just think the bottom line, if you can get up there on that front row and you can control the race, I just think that's worth a lot more than 4 or even 2 fresh tires.
So 8 drivers stayed out. The next 2 had 2 tires only. Here's Chase Elliott as the leader, choosing to pit. Keselowski staying in his tire tracks to the last minute.
And I really believe that their thought process was, if we stay out, they're all coming in. If we come in, they're probably going to stay out. And then maybe hope that there was a quick caution and they didn't make it around to the white flag to get the full green-white checkered in, and then maybe gives them a second chance because Chase Elliott did drive all the way up to 3rd place.
And 3rd place ended up being 2nd place with the Johnson disqualification.
Either way, even a 3rd place for Chase Elliott after leading there late with a chance, a great shot at winning his first 600 would have been big.
But if you look at this graphic, unless you were restarting way up near the front, or you were one of the cars that was leading and had those fresh tires, might not have worked out quite so well.
And you know, you look at this scenario, this is late in the race, right? You're going to have a green-white checkered, and if you're going to be starting on the front row, a little bit different decision making. Here in this race today, as Larry Mack was saying, you know, man, I thought more guys would stay out. The only thing that I see happens in some of these races like this is that the track is very green. They feel like the wear is going to be excessively high, even though this is not a high wear track like Darlington, maybe excessively high, where some of these drivers didn't like the way their car was handling, felt it going away quicker, said that to their crew chiefs, and they decided to come in and get some tires.
Well, one driver who moved up very quickly on the start of this race was Kevin Harvick. Cup Rookie of the Year in 2001 when he was tapped to drive the newly renumbered 29 for Richard Childress. 2007 and 2014 Cup Series champion.
50
and now
career
50,
wins.
5-0.
That's
career
big.
wins, tying Junior Johnson and Ned Jarrett on the all-time list. Kevin joins us via Skype during the red flag, so was only 30 laps and not that many green ones. What'd you learn?
I learned that my Busch Light Ford is fast, and you know, I think
so did we.
Night, obviously, yeah. The other night, obviously, didn't handle like we wanted to handle, and our guys were able to go home and put together another car and put a lot of work in and a lot of effort in to come out here tonight. So just got to thank everybody from Stewart-Haas Racing, and I think all that has seemed to pay off, and hopefully the cooler it gets, the faster it gets.
Yeah, Kevin, it was pretty obvious that you were feeling comfortable and you liked your car, because you could just see you driving deep in the corner, going underneath some guys, making some pretty aggressive moves. You weren't the only one making aggressive moves. There's a lot of craziness in the opening laps of this race. Where do you think that urgency comes from in the mindset of a driver right now?
Well, I think we all have the confidence from the other night as to what the racetrack feels like, and watching the other races, that the groove has spread out a little bit better than it was for us the other night. So, I think as drivers, you have that confidence coming in. I think you also know that you have a competition caution at 20 and the stage ends at 55, and you got to make hay while you can.
Yeah, we also saw that strategy play out, Kevin. Larry Mack here in the studio saying, man, I'm surprised a lot more guys didn't stay out. Was there anything that you felt where the tires were starting to go away faster because of it being a green track that maybe would, lean some more guys to come down and get tires versus staying out in the early stages versus maybe what might happen later in this race?
Yeah, I think as you look at it, I think for us, our car was much more on the offense on the restarts, and I think as you look at it, I think a fresh tire advantage as you look at 10th on back, you might as well put tires on, because you're going to kind of be at the tail end of the guys that have no tires and the guys that have tires. But for us, we felt like we were on the offense with our car on the restarts compared to most everybody we've been around so far. So we felt like tires were going to make that better. And I think as you go into the end of the run, I think we probably will fall off a little bit as we get towards the end of the run. So we need to have as fresh tires on our Busch Light Ford as we can.
Well, let me shift gears for a second, because I know you follow a lot of different racing around the country. You donate bonus money to short tracks. You get involved with different programs. But where did the idea of posting a $50,000 bounty on Kyle Busch in the Truck Series, how did that all come together?
Yeah, I was sitting in my motorhome in Las Vegas, and I woke up the next morning after Kyle won, and I actually saw a tweet from Kyle Larson that just had two cherries hanging on it that basically symbolizes cherry picking. And when Delaney and I owned our truck teams, that used to fly all over me, because I know how much time and effort and money that it takes to put those cars on and trucks on the racetrack, and I know how much work Kyle puts into putting those vehicles on the racetrack, and I thought, what the heck? Let's put some money on the line and see if we can get some of these guys to come out and race in the Truck Series. And you look at it the other night, and with everything that's gone on in our sport with Chase and Kyle, and to have them battling it out in the Truck Series, and to have Marcus Lemonis jump on board, it wound up being a lot of fun. I really have a lot of respect for what Kyle Busch does and how much effort he puts into putting those race trucks on the track. And sometimes I feel like it's people forget the art of promoting, and sometimes you got to go out and kind of give them a little bit of a nudge to help kind of create some excitement. And as a fan, I love the Truck Series. I love to watch racing, and as a fan, I sat up with my son the other night, sitting up in the bed, wondering what was going to happen, because it was fun and exciting. And in the end, it's going to make a great donation once Chase decides where he wants to take all that $100,000 for charity during a time when there's so many things that are so much bigger than our sport right now. And our sport, once again, is going to step up, just like all the folks did during the first iRacing event at the Homestead Speedway to donate some money to charity, and we're going to do it again.
Well, I certainly want to applaud you, not just for noticing what's going on with these other series, but giving back and just making racing a whole lot better. Are you a little disappointed the bounty got claimed the very first time out?
I am not, and here's why.
Okay.
I am not, because of the fact it has been a way bigger deal than I ever thought it was going to be, and I have to answer as many questions about the bounty as I do about my darn race car. So it was way bigger than I expected, and I did not want to be in the middle of it. I wanted it just to be between the racers and let them go out on the racetrack and let the fans have fun with it. And then I wound up having to be in the middle of it because it just kind of took off, and everybody wanted to talk about it. So, but I'm glad it all worked out the way that it did, and hopefully it leads to some cool promotions in the future.
Now, come on, Kevin. You know there's a little bit of you wanting to see somebody beat Kyle Busch because you're tired of him winning all those races. But, hey, I gotta applaud you on just your leadership. You know, as a champion, as a representative of this sport, you're doing a phenomenal job, not just with things like this for giving back, but also, you know, recognizing things that need to promote the sport, build the sport up. But as we've come back racing after being away for, 10 weeks, you won that first race out. And you could tell and sense, without having fans in the stands, what that meant to you as a sport. You represented the sport and reached out to those fans because you know how much they mean to us. So I just want to say thank you and applaud you for the phenomenal job that you do far beyond just behind the wheel.
Well, I appreciate that, Jeff. And you know, I think as, you know, as we won that race at Darlington and I got out of the race car and realized, you know, how much you actually feed off of the race fans and their reaction and the feelings that you get out of that race car. And from that moment forward, after winning at Darlington, you know, it really made me think about a lot of things. And especially on the way home with the amount of phone calls from just, you know, people that you don't normally hear from and just how much it meant, you know, to our country and to get sports back going and to other sports because they see our sport is going. You know, it was way bigger than my 50th win. It was way bigger than winning a race at Darlington. You know, being in the middle of a pandemic and being able to get sports back on the racetrack. And heck, three out of the 4 weeks we've been battling the rain. It's way bigger than me. It's way bigger than you know, the guys and gals that are in this sport. It's everybody. And you know, our sport has done a great job to be part of the rebuilding process to get sports back going. And I'm so proud of all of our teams and NASCAR and all of you guys on the broadcast side for putting our sport at the front and keeping us safe and putting on a show.
Well, thanks. It was a great night for all of us, especially for you. You know, we saw how stunned you were when you climbed out of the race car. We weren't stunned until we saw how stunned you are. It's like, oh, it's so quiet around here. Yeah. But congrats again, and thanks for joining us.
All right, guys. Have a great night.
Thanks, Kevin.
You too. Kevin Harvick, there's that. Oh, the rainbow's getting bigger. And hopefully all that lightning is moving away. Kevin Harvick, 50 big wins and counting. We are under the red flag at Charlotte for lightning in the area. Cars are covered up in case it rains, and we're hopeful of all this moving through very quickly because we've got a race to finish. Joey Logano already has 2 victories in the 2020 book. The call to stay out. And from this restart, go out in the lead and end up winning at Las Vegas. Just 2 races later, despite that errant tire, Logano rebounds to cut the dogleg in Phoenix and drive away from Kevin Harvick and others to score his 2nd victory of the year. And he just had a birthday. So let's bring Joey Logano in via Skype, and thanks for joining us. What's it been like for 30 whole laps on Thursday night?
Well, we're off to a good start at least, and an interesting strategy call by staying out here. And it was working really well before the caution came out. And I think it actually might work out even better in our hands right now, considering our tires are out there cooling as I'm sitting here in my motorhome. So I like our position with the Shaw Penzo Mustang, and hope we can fire this thing back off soon and finish this first stage out.
Joey, we've been talking a lot about track position, strategy, you know, staying out, coming in to get tires. And I think a lot of that decision-making has to do with confidence that your crew chief has in the driver getting that job done out there. And I think, you know, you're a guy that has shown that in those short runs, restarts, you can get it done. You're really aggressive, and you'll make that move. And I wonder, does that play out in some of the calls that you make with some of your crew chiefs, especially now with Paul Wolfe?
Well, I think it's no secret that Paul's an aggressive crew chief. You know, you've seen Brad win so many races with Paul with a lot of strategy calls, whether it's staying out or fuel mileage. I've been on the bad end of that a few times, and now it's been a lot of fun having Paul here, who really looks into these races from a different angle and being aggressive. And honestly, that's what's put us in position to win at Vegas for sure, and even at Phoenix, it put us with taking tires. A different strategy was what allowed us to win there. So yeah, we've been able to fabricate great finishes with good cars. You know, maybe not the most stellar car on the racetrack, but we've had good enough cars where we can put it in position for a late race restart or do something different, and that clean air means so much. So that's been you know, our kind of MO here lately, and like I said, I have a car good enough to do that and for me to do my job.
Well, not long ago, you joined a very elite group of NASCAR drivers who have scored 25 wins before that 30th birthday. 29 when you went to victory lane, 30 now. Kyle Busch was 27 when he did it. Richard Petty was 26. A young fella named Gordon was 25. He scored 25 wins. What's that mean to you? I know you're such a veteran of this series. It seems like you've been here forever. But to nail down 25 wins before age 30, that is quite an elite group there.
I appreciate it. It's an honor to be a part of that group, and you know, kind of Jeff leading the way of that years ago when, you know, he was so young starting this, and I remember I was racing quarter midgets at the time, watching Jeff start and thinking, man, I wanted to be like him and be out here at the big dogs. And I'm so fortunate to be able to say I raced against Jeff, which was really cool to me for a little bit. And you know, I was listening under your commercial break, you guys talking back and forth, and Jeff Gordon said 30 years old. Boy, he's an old guy now. I was like, come on, man.
Well, that's what I was going to say next. I mean, baby number 2, you're 30. I mean, you're kind of turned in the wise old guy here in NASCAR. You've been around the sport, as Mike mentioned, for a while. I mean, how has Joey Logano changed throughout all these years?
Oh, boy. In a lot of different ways. And Jeff, you've seen the good and the bad of at least me growing up and in front of everybody. And I'm sure you kind of had a lot of the same experiences that, you know, you're in the limelight through this. And the rookies today are going through the same thing, is that you're going to make mistakes and you're going to be judged by everybody, whether you're in the sport or the fans. And it's going to make you tough. That's one thing for sure. And I love that opportunity that I've had. And, you know, the sport has really grown me into the person I am today. And I wouldn't trade any mistake that I've made because I've learned from them, you know. And like I said, I didn't do it all right, and I still won't. But I feel like I've grown so fast and in my maturity and just where life takes me even after this sport. I tell everyone I have an RCD, a race car driver degree, and I feel like you get that by being around the sport a lot.
I can tell you, Joey, that's all you need, bud.
But you've done a lot. You've done a lot for charity. At the end of last season, Roger Penske and Team Penske did what I think pretty much knocked the whole rest of the sport back, just back a couple of steps with this wholesale crew chief change. You know, what we're doing isn't winning us a championship. Let's change everything. What was your initial reaction? I think I know your reaction now with 2 wins in the bank, but how did you feel about that initially, and how was a new adjustment process?
Well, you know, when it was brought up to me, you kind of first take a deep breath and go, whoa, okay, what is this about? But then you kind of immediately start thinking about the possibilities and what can be. And I think that kind of fresh blood, type of new energy, you know, different thought processes between each team at Team Penske, and trying to have it all come together was what excited me the most. I was able to take what I was used to with Todd Gordon and Paul doing what he did, and we can kind of grow together. And it's the same thing for the 12 and the 2, going through the same thing with kind of merging all the teams together. On top of that, it forces everyone to communicate even more than they used to. You know, as you think about, hey, we're coming to Charlotte for the first time as a team, we don't have practice. You know, it's smart for Paul to go say, hey, what did Joey fight last time? And he also can go off of his notes too from what he and Brad went through. So there's a lot of really good things that come along with it. I will say it's been challenging without practice to kind of get along with the, you know, getting the car tuned in just right to start. But, you know, you have I always say you have a rematch, when we have these second races, we have a second one in Darlington, a second one here in Charlotte. You have a rematch to where you go back to the same racetrack and you can grow off of what you did the first time. And that's been nice. And it seems like we've been better to the second race. And so far in this race, we've had good speed too. So, it's nice to be able to make those adjustments going into the second time after working together once.
So, Joey, you just mentioned you're back now in Charlotte from Sunday. Now you have a race almost half the distance of what you had on Sunday. We've already seen some pretty wild restarts. We're seeing some strategy with you guys staying out, others with tires, the rain. I mean, you're getting everything thrown at you. How, as as a driver, how do you adjust? How do you, stay focused and get yourself into a place to really try to plan out the expectations of how you're going to run this race tonight?
Well, that's hard to say. I'm sitting here, talking to you guys, and I got you on the big screen over here watching other interviews and see what my competitors are saying. I can go back and rewatch at least the first few laps of this race and see where cars were making a lot of speed. And it seems like the 4, I know you guys were just talking to Kevin, is really fast right now, probably the best car on the racetrack. So we need some adjustments to probably keep up with where he's at. But we have that track position, which means more than anything right now. So we need to keep that on the start here. And, I think that's probably the biggest thing. And outside of that, I'll be communicating with the crew chief and, like I said, watching you guys and be ready to go when they say go.
All right, Joey, thanks for joining us. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Joey. Good luck.
You guys have a good one.
There is Joey Logano's Ford undercover. Track drying out here after a brief shower following the lightning. And hopefully we can get back underway before too long here at Charlotte. A little bit of track drying going on here at Charlotte Motor Speedway, but you see those flags above the trucks. They are right straight out. There is a lot of breeze here, and that will help to dry this track quickly, along with the NASCAR Toyota track drying system and the jet dryers. So while we wait, drivers are dialing us up to talk to you on Skype. Here's Michael McDowell, who started the season off 14th at Daytona, and with the invert got a good starting spot here, and it looks like between that and a little strategy, you've made the most of it.
Yeah, it's been pretty decent so far. The CarParts.com Ford Mustang is holding tough. There's a lot of fast cars behind us that, are trying to get by, but we've done a good job holding our own. We stayed out there in that competition caution and only lost a few spots there, so feel like we got decent speed. We got to work on it a little bit, but track position is so important. We just didn't want to give it up, and, so Drew made a good call there and kept the track position, and we'll keep fighting hard. It's been a good start to the season, but a top 10 would be great, and so we just got to keep fighting.
Hey, Michael, one of the interesting things about this format, right, is we run the 600 and then we invert the top 20, which benefited you. You guys finished 18th, so you start this race in 4th position. And, man, you were up there fighting. I saw you side by side with Joey Logano. They're almost making a move on him early on. So, obviously, these unique circumstances, something that maybe you can benefit from. How do you like this format, and what are you going to do to try to continue to keep that track position throughout the night? Do you have a car that can do that?
Yeah, this format's great. I mean, obviously it gives us an opportunity that we might not otherwise get. But track position is so important. I think, with this rules package, our cars are pretty similar, but you get stuck behind and you restart 15th or 18th or 20th, and it's just really hard to make it through the field. You got to have an exceptional car to do that. So just keeping that track position is going to be the key to it. We haven't had a pit stop yet, so when we come down and work on it, make good changes, hopefully have a good, clean stop and keep that track position. I think we can hold strong, a lot of the night. We just can't make any mistakes. You got to execute. It's a short race, so elbows are up, and I'm giving it everything I have and trying to make the most of the opportunity.
Well, so far, so good. So coming into a race like this, no practice, no qualifying, climb in your car, and your very first lap at speed is the green flag lap. What does that do to you coming into this race, and how do you get yourself ready for that? I mean, that you talk about diving off into the unknown. There you go.
Yeah, I think that it was probably more challenging on Sunday for the 600. Just you go out for qualifying and you got to hold it wide open, and we haven't even been on the racetrack. So, you know, after running 600 miles, I felt pretty confident starting today. Obviously, a lot of unknowns with so much weather and the PJ1 moving around, and so you just don't know. But I just trust my guys, and everybody did a good job. And you hold it wide open, you see what happens, and you make adjustments as you get down into the corner.
Well, thanks for taking the time to join us, and good luck the rest of the way.
All right, thanks, guys.
All right, thanks, Michael McDowell. Well, the lightning has worked its way out of the area. Track drying efforts, and I don't think there will be too many, are underway. Welcome back to Charlotte Motor Speedway. And then came one little blob of rain up and over turn number 2. Here's a look at the weather radar. The bullseye is the speedway, and just that little bit of green moving through has dampened the track, and track drying efforts are underway seriously now in turn number 2. So we're going to be back as soon as we have word of restarting this race. Right now we're going to send you to 100,000 cameras, the return of NASCAR with your videos worked into the coverage of the race, and we'll be back here to Charlotte Motor Speedway to update just as soon as we have an idea when we'll be able to go racing. Welcome back to Charlotte Motor Speedway, where we promised you an early bedtime. Not this early. NASCAR is ready to resume racing. After a pause for lightning and then a brief shower, mostly over turn number 2. The engines are firing back up with 178 laps to go. We've completed 30 of 55 laps in stage 1. Joey Logano leading from his Team Penske Ford teammate Ryan Blaney, and the Wood brothers Matt DiBenedetto, with Kurt Busch in 4th, Alex Bowman in 5th in Chevrolets, and the first Toyota being Christopher Bell in 9th place, with Kyle Busch in 12th. So once this red flag is lifted, after just about a 1-hour delay for lightning and a light bit of rain, we're going to go back to racing.
Well, Mike, we knew there was going to be a lot of action tonight, but I had no idea that much was going to be crammed into 30 laps, so we're in for a treat when we go back green here.
So welcome back to the Alsco 500. A brief recap. Lap 1, Garrett Smithley got into Joey Gase, both crashing and out of the race. Lap number 20, the competition caution, where most of the teams decided to pit. And then just 5 laps after they went back to green, Brad Keselowski has a flat right front tire, perhaps from contact. Matt Kenseth cuts down a left rear tire and spins, putting us under caution. And the yellow flag is out. We're getting ready. I promised you. We're getting ready to go back to racing. We're going to finish this race tonight.
Okay. West Coast is still good for bedtime.
Central, Mountain, West Coast. Don't worry. It's a short race. It's just 208 laps. And there's the damage to Brad Keselowski's car from the right front corner. So now, as the cars begin to roll off pit road, let's take a look at the right combination, sponsored by Subway. Larry?
Well, Mike, you just mentioned the 2-car Team Penske, Brad Keselowski and his crew chief Jeremy Bullins. This is a new combination headed into 2020, and I think the jury was out. We were not sure exactly how this would work, but when you look at the first 7 races this year, they got the win last week in the Coke 600. That broke over a year winless streak for Brad. 3 top 5s, 4 top 10s. Also in 2012 through 2014, Jeremy and Brad won 14 Xfinity Series races together. So contrary to what we were thinking, the captain Roger Penske knew this would be a Subway right combination.
Thanks, Larry. And let's check in on pit road with Vince Welch.
Well, Mike, as you guys talked about throughout the course of the first 30 laps that we ran and the pit stops that we covered, a lot of teams are dealing with loose race cars. Almost every crew chief I talked to during this break talked about the fact that their cars were loose in the first 30 laps, and now with the green racetrack, they expect that to be even more significant. So loose race cars before, even looser race cars now. And if they get up in that dark area where that traction compound is until it gets warmed up, it's going to be really slick.
Oh, boy. All right, they're going to open pit road this time, and we're going green in 2 laps.
I like it. You saw some repairs still being made to that 24 car William Byron on pit road, where he and Corey LaJoie had some contact on that first time down pit road. Here's looks like Christopher Bell may be making a trip down pit road as you see William Byron exiting pit road.
During the rain delay, Corey LaJoie tweeted that, and we'll pick up with that in a minute. As Christopher Bell is going to get 4 tires and fuel to finish off this stage with 23 to go. Jimmy Johnson in as well. Cole Custer, who had a big slide earlier up the racetrack, but it looks like no damage. Clint Boyer's in, and looks like Brad Keselowski making another stop.
You know, Mike and Jeff, you see some of these teams making a second stop for tires. Remember, they only had 7 sets of tires for this entire race, and one of those is what you started the race on. I would say some of these teams, some of the tires they're taking off that don't have a lot of laps on them, they'll have to glue those back up just in case.
Well, and Larry, the nice thing is that Joey Logano mentioned it when we talked to him during our break there, that those tires cool down. Even though they're scuffed tires and have some laps on them, they're cooled down, so they might choose to keep those and be able to use those almost as a fresh set later in this race.
The honor and remember on the Goodyear tires for Memorial Day weekend. And
you want to know what sticker tires are? There it is.
There's the stick. That's why we call them sticker tires. That wears off quickly. Larry, if you stop now with 23 to go, is there a chance you would not stop at the end of the stage?
I don't think so, Mike, because remember, the fuel window is 58 to 62 laps, and that second stage is 60 laps. So you almost have to pit at the end of stage 1.
Okay. Now, I was talking about Corey LaJoie and the issue he had with William Byron. LaJoie was coming into his pit, and Corey tweeted during the rain delay, he said, I saw the jack drop on Willie B's car, expecting they'd come around and put tires on the left side also, and then Byron John forced it out of the pits, and they had to come together because Corey, coming into his pit, didn't know that Byron was just getting 2 tires.
Yeah, there's responsibilities on both sides there, right? As a driver, you're looking at your pit stall and other cars pitting around you. You kind of got to be ready for those 2 tires if that is going to happen. But it's also whoever's sending that driver out. Here's a look at it as William Byron's shooting out. If they have to know that cars are coming, especially when you're only taking 2 tires, you're going to get out of that box quick. You got to know other drivers like Corey LaJoie that are pitting around you may be entering their box, and hold your driver.
And there is the tweet from Corey. Can't stop a 3,500-pound car going 45 in 20 feet. Hopefully both can recover.
See the left front damage to Corey LaJoie's car from that impact. Certainly pretty heavy damage to the right side of the 24 car. We'll see if they can recover. They've made significant repairs to it so far.
On this restart, we're going to listen to Tyler Green. He is spotting for Kurt Busch in the number 1, who is on the second row outside behind Logano and Blaney, and next to Benedetto.
Still inside, no run from behind. All good behind you. 88 inside. 3, 1 back behind. Inside, inside. 3's inside, no pressure on back. Top of 3 outside the 88. Top of 3. Top of 3. Top of 3. Top of 2. Top of 2. Still inside. Clear behind
Austin
the 12.
Dillon feeling good about his race car. We saw him go 3 wide to the outside earlier in the race. Now he goes 3 wide to the inside.
He and his teammate Reddick working together, trying to gain some spots on the bottom. Clint Boyer on his pit stop, too many men over the wall. Had to restart out back.
Sorry, Mike. Ricky Stenhouse Jr. putting it up top, up into that traction compound to make some moves.
Put Stenhouse up to 6th in the 47.
Ooh, and a big slide there through the middle, 3 and 4. See, Tyler Reddick was almost 3 wide with Kevin Harvick there for a second. Had to slide up in that outside groove behind Buescher.
Harvick's in 10th in the number 4. We go back to 12th here, and Chase Elliott.
See Chase putting those right sides of that traction compound. Had to get out of the gas. I'm not sure if he was tight right there or loose. We talked pre-race about how important it is to unload and start this race strong because it is a short race. You're not going to have a lot of opportunities to make adjustments. Kyle Busch right behind him. Well, a lot of out of the throttle right there for Chase Elliott.
Eric Jones to the inside of his teammate. Side by side for 13th there, and Martin Truex looking into that battle. You're riding Eric Almirola. How loose Bubba Wallace is off the corner.
We heard Vince talk about how many crew chiefs were complaining about their cars being loose. Here's a battle for 3rd place. Ryan Blaney takes it away from Kurt Busch. Stenhouse still making some moves, and here comes Kevin Harvick to the inside of Stenhouse.
Ricky's gained 6 positions since the restart.
And he's one of the ones at that competition caution that got 4 fresh tires on that 47 car. Vince.
Well, and Ricky Stenhouse Jr., they really need a good run tonight. The last 3 races, the 3 races since we have come back, crew chief Brian Patty told me they've just been sloppy. They've made mistakes they cannot afford to make, driver and crew, and they've got to be better tonight. They've got to execute, so keep an eye on that 47. He's got some speed.
That he does. Running just 3 seconds off the lead in 6th. Harvick having a look on the inside. Kevin Harvick is driving this like it's a series of 30-lap short track Saturday night racing.
Well, he said how confident he was in his car because it had a lot of speed, and he's shown it again since we've gone back racing green. His car is very good. He can put it about anywhere he wants to go.
Joey Logano 1.3 ahead of Matt DiBenedetto.
Guys, I've been watching our leader, Joey Logano. He absolutely, even this far into a run, he doesn't even think about coming out of the throttle whatsoever in 1 and 2, and just about 50% off in 3 and 4 for a brief period of time.
Wow.
And I really chalk that up, Larry, to these teams learn so much from that 600-mile race, heights and everything that they need to do to come back and make their car even better. Of course, conditions are really good as well, as we see this battle for 5th place between Alex Bowman and Kevin Harvick.
Harvick restarted 8th, now up to 5th. Michael McDowell 11th behind Chris Buescher, and Kyle Busch right behind McDowell. Not anymore.
You can see Michael McDowell goes to that top side. Almost looked like the car bottomed out a little bit, sent him up the racetrack, but he actually recovered really well to come off the exit. That top groove was pretty good in 1 and 2. He's going to try to slice down to the white line in front of Kyle Busch. Not going to work there.
Eric Jones trying to close on the inside, and on the right, Kevin Harvick going for 4th on Kurt Busch and getting it.
Boy, he made that happen in a hurry.
To go in stage 1. Jones in the 20. Completes the pass on McDowell and moves up to 12th.
And other than Joey Logano, who's, out front, I mean, De Benedetto also, but, right about this time, and that's why you're seeing Kevin Harvick really come into the picture here. You're starting to see those guys that took 4 tires start to make big gains, but I don't think anybody's going to be able to touch our leader out there in clean air, Joey Logano, not without a caution.
The Wood brothers named the first quarter recipient of the NMPA Pocono Spirit Award for John Wood's efforts during this COVID-19 situation of raising money to buy iPads so that people who are in rest homes and unable to have visitors can communicate with their families. Nicely done.
Boy, look at Alex Bowman just wrap that white line, roll right to the inside of Kurt Busch. Stenhouse, who's he going to help push into turn 1?
You call that help? Maybe.
Well, if the grass hadn't been there, I know exactly what Stenhouse was going to do.
Right. To go in stage 1, and Ryan Blaney closing on Matt DiBenedetto for second place. Chase Elliott last lap 30:59. That makes him faster than everybody that last lap except Joey Logano and Kyle Busch. Just a matter of hundredths.
Well, and he's in traffic too, so it didn't look like the car started the way he wanted it to, but it is definitely coming to him now.
Penske 1, 2, 3 as the stage winds down. Chris Buescher in position to get the final stage point. Boy, Ricky Stenhouse having a solid night so far. Challenging for 6th. Austin Dillon right behind him.
Ricky Stenhouse Jr. in that 47. He just needs an uneventful race. Think about that Darlington race, crashing on lap 1. He's not even had a top 20 finish since we were back at Auto Club Speedway a few months ago.
Well, he's feeling good about it tonight, Larry Mack, and you can tell by the moves he's making how that car closes up on those ahead of him. So I think he might, if he can stay clean and stay out of trouble here, I think this team can definitely put a top 10, maybe even better tonight together.
Stenhouse in 7th, his teammate Preece in 17th. And car 17 holding down the final point-paying spot here 4 laps from now. Second place, Ryan Blaney going for it. Boy, he had a great Coca-Cola 600.
Oh boy, that got really close there with the lap car of Bilicki and DiBenedetto. But yeah, this 12 car and Ryan Blaney, we've seen moments this year. They have been incredibly fast and strong. Finally put a nice result together in the 600, and now they're following that up. Teammates at Penske 1-2 right now, and DiBenedetto and the Wood brothers making it top 3.
Stenhouse going for 6th on Kurt Busch. Three of the 4 Penske cars up front, counting the Wood brothers. The other, Brad Keselowski, rebounding from a cut tire that helped bring out a caution. And Keselowski's up to 25th. As we still have 35 cars on the lead lap. And Chase Elliott now all over Kurt Busch for 8th place with 2 to go in the stage, and pit road closed.
Yeah, right now our top 4 are all Fords, and then the next 5 behind that, Chevrolets. First Toyota back in 11th.
Kevin Harvick moving on Matt DiBenedetto.
And watch Kevin Harvick. Ooh, that was a pretty scary moment. He was in a vulnerable position right there. That air was not coming to the front and to create downforce for the 4 Kevin Harvick the way he wanted. But I was just about to say, Kevin Harvick can put his car anywhere. That's what's making him so good right now. He can go up high, middle, or the bottom.
Final lap of the stage. Logano gets the flag. And behind Blaney with Harvick. Joey Logano, who won Stage 3 at the Coca-Cola 600, is your Stage 1 winner tonight. Chevy is committed to getting you back on the open road with confidence and peace of mind. Visit ChevyCares.com to learn more. 57 laps complete in Charlotte after a lightning and rain shower delay. Stage 2 will be 60 laps. And the final stage, 93, 208 laps is the race distance tonight. Joey Logano, Stage 1 winner. Ryan Blaney, each going to make their first trip to pit road tonight. Matt DiBenedetto, Kevin Harvick, Alex Bowman, the top 5. The rest of the stage points went to Stenhouse, Dillon, Kurt Busch, Elliott, and Buescher. Logano in at the head into pit road. DiBenedetto, Wood Brothers crew at work, little chassis adjustment, Vince.
And the 12 of Ryan Blaney started this race 16th all the way up to second. Both his teammates have won this season, Keselowski and Logano, so he's open to join them tonight. Just a little bit free on both ends. They made a slight air pressure adjustment to give him some security.
There's your Ram race off pit road. Logano, Blaney, Kevin Harvick up 1. Kurt Busch up 3, as is Chris Buescher. Nice job by the 17 crew.
Let's talk to Joey Logano. Hey, Joey, Jeff and Mike here in the Fox Sports Studios. Congrats on that Stage 1 win. Well, that strategy worked out pretty well. Now you got 4 fresh tires and still have the lead. How about it?
Thanks. I was just rolling up to the pace car here, wondering if anyone was staying out. So I appreciate the info there. And yeah, got a pretty good Shell Penzo Mustang, and nice strategy call there by Paul and the boys to get us a stage win and get this track position, which is so important. So got to figure out what I'm going to do on this restart now.
Yeah, I'm just curious, any changes in the track? It was a green racetrack. You still had some older tires. Was there anything that you are looking at what you're going to have to do to make adjustments balance-wise going forward?
Yeah, Paul and I were talking about this during the rain delay on what direction the track was going to go and what we've had in the past here, especially last week. And definitely gains grip. We noticed a grip change from before the rain break there. Definitely had more grip, which helped us probably get through that stage there. So that part was nice. And yeah, we'll just have to be on it throughout the night and make sure we stay ahead of it here.
All right, well, thanks for talking to us. Congrats again, and good luck the rest of the way.
Have a good one.
All 35 lead lap cars came to pit road under the Stage 1 caution.
Hi, Jimmy. Cassandra here in West Bloomfield, Michigan. I want to wish you a safe, fast race tonight. I hope my name on the car brings you some good luck. I want to thank you for everything you're doing to recognize healthcare workers around the country. And congratulations on your upcoming retirement.
One of our everyday real heroes, Cassandra Giannopoulos, RN in the Neurosurgical Intensive Care Unit at Henry Ford Hospital outside Detroit. Being recognized on Jimmy's number 48 tonight. As we're getting ready for Stage 2.
And Jimmy actually had a little bit of damage to the left side of that 48 Ally Chevrolet. You could just see behind the left front and just in front of the left rear. Obviously made a little contact with somebody, so that sent them down pit road a couple of times on the last caution. So hopefully all that is out of the way now and then go back to racing.
He will restart 18th of the 35 lead lap cars. And you'll be listening on this restart to Josh Williams, who spots for the number 12 of Ryan Blaney. Logano and Blaney, Harvick and Bowman, Kurt Busch and DiBenedetto, Then Chris Buescher, who had that great pit stop, he'll restart 7th next to Chase Elliott. Austin Dillon, Kyle Busch, the top 10. Stage 2, 60 laps. Here they come to the Geico restart zone. And we'll go back to green.
10 away. 5. All rolling. 88 tap off you. Bars will get a push hard. 88 is one off you. It's up and down. Bars will get the push hard. Pass back 88. Little run coming in line here. Pass back 88. Pass back. Still in line. 21 tap off again.
Stenhouse 4 wide on the outside of Kyle Busch. Still 4 wide going into 3.
Oh, hang on.
Boy,
and he does.
Great save by Eric Almirola. For Kyle Busch.
He got way loose coming off the corner, and they just fly on by him.
Boy, did he and Stenhouse make some contact and cut that tire down. I think that is his problem. Oh, look at the left rear tires down. So somebody made contact. He and somebody else made contact with the left rear. Very similar issue what we saw with Matt Kenseth earlier. Here's a battle up front, though, still going on. Second place, Kevin Harvick taking it away from Blaney.
Going to be real interested to see how Kevin Harvick runs this stage. Stage 1 was a series of 20 or 30 lap sprints for Harvick. This stage, well, they've got 50 to go. How will he handle it?
He still looks like he's in a sprint race to me. Here's some issues for Kyle Busch. Look at him 4 wide going into turn 3.
Oh, yeah. He and Almirola made contact.
Boy, it did not take much. You know what I think, Mike? I think the exhaust pipes where they come out of the right side, they only stick out about a half an inch. That's all it takes to cut that left rear tire when he and Kyle Busch made contact.
Kyle has made it back to pit road.
Lead change.
Yes. Well, I didn't have to wonder long how Kevin Harvick would run this stage.
Well, he is
flat out.
He's got a fast race car and a lot of confidence. Right there, you heard that little tiny bit of contact, and that's all it took to cut the left rear tire of Kyle Busch. I can relate to that, Mike. That's exactly what happened with me and Keselowski in 14 at Texas. That same similar type of thing where we came side by side, barely touched. But boy, if you just touch in the right place, and then an exhaust pipe can cut that left rear tire very easily.
Looked like Almirola was told that Eric Jones was to his inside, and he just moved up the track a foot or so. But there wasn't anywhere for Kyle Busch to move up higher as they were 4 wide. 3rd place now. Bowman over Blaney. Behind Harvick and Logano.
We knew that was going to be very costly for Kyle Busch as he came in to get tires. He's 2 laps down. And you can see some sheet metal hanging off that left rear also. I promise you that's not helping the performance. That's creating some lift back there, if anything. That's a wing in the wrong direction that you want for a race car.
And everybody, starting with Logano, is going to have to give Kyle a wide berth there with that bit of sheet metal flapping. Now he's right behind, rather Kyle Busch is right behind race leader Kevin Harvick in 2 laps down. But Harvick's fastest car on the racetrack. No chance of catching him to unlap himself right now.
And Joey's got to be really careful not to get too close to the 18. That could easily cut his tires down. You can see, the fresher tires of the 18 Kyle Busch, not to mention motivation. He has good speed. You can also see where Joey Logano wants to side drive so badly to try to complete this pass on Kyle Busch, but he knows he can't get too close.
Clear. Driving away. Don't worry about him.
And Bowman right there.
That's Kevin Hamlin, Alex Bowman's spotter. And look, Jeff, Kyle is giving these fellows as much racetrack width as possible. I mean, he's staying way up the racetrack. not crowding anybody with that piece of sheet metal flailing like that.
No, I mean, Kyle Busch is a professional. He knows he's 2 laps down, but he knows that he needs to try to get one of those back if it's at all possible, but you can't do it all in 1 lap.
Chase Elliott 7th. And now here's Bowman going for 2nd place on Joey Logano. Let's go back to 8th place now, where Chase Elliott has dropped a spot. Vince?
Yeah, he had some contact with Austin Dillon on pit road the last stop, and then as Chase got back out and up to speed, thought maybe that he had a tire issue, a tire going down. That does not seem to be the problem, but as you said, he just lost a spot. Austin Dillon in that 3 was also concerned after that contact on pit road, wanting to make sure that the 9 camp knew it was accidental, there would be no retaliation. 1 into the wall there, Mike.
Yep, 1 bounces off the wall, and we are under caution again.
Quinn Huff, I believe, is made contact. Yes.
Caution at lap 74 for Quinn Houff. Up and into the wall with a bit of damage here. Whole right side.
Looks like, I think that's the 15 there.
It is.
Brendan Poole got loose underneath. Comes up the racetrack and clips Quinn Houff and sends him sliding sideways, makes a little contact with the outside wall.
Corey LaJoie scoots by. And that'll be our 5th caution flag of the night.
You know, Mike, you were talking about that damage to Chase Elliott. He was all the way out against the grass, and Austin Dillon just made a dead right turn and went from his pit box straight to the outside, right into the side of Chase Elliott.
Wow. Matt Kenseth will get the free pass on this caution as the 15 crew goes to work trying to fix the damage for Brendan Poole, Pat Tryson's crew.
Well, much needed caution for a few of these guys like Kyle Busch that needs to fix that damage. Then you also have the 9 car if they want to come in and try to look at the damage that may have happened between he and Austin Dillon. Of course, that 18 car is going to maybe look at to see what these leaders do and see if it's possible for him to get a wave around.
Right, because he is 2 laps down. Kyle Busch is. Chase Elliott now saying he thinks he may have a loose wheel. Wow, Harvick in.
This looks familiar, just way early.
Right, it's not with 2 laps to go, right? Vince.
Well, they made significant changes to this 4 car for tonight's race compared to what they had in the 600, and it has paid off. Kevin Harvick has been good from the get-go. Started back in the 14th spot. Pits here from the lead. It's just a tick free, but he said no changes, just 4 tires.
I just really do not understand guys at the front of the pack pitting right there, because you could run all the way to the end of this stage without stopping for fuel, and these guys are going to restart almost back close to 18th or 20th.
Going to be a long stop for Martin Truex. He believes he may have scraped the wall with the right side of his car. Kevin Harvick surrenders the lead to pit under caution. Alex Bowman in California took his number 88 to the front and to the win. Big celebration for his 2nd career victory. Working on number 3 tonight because he is your race leader over Joey Logano, Ryan Blaney, Kurt Busch, and Austin Dillon in the top 5. Reddick, Wallace, Bell, McDowell, and Keselowski. Nice rebound for Brad after a flat tire early. That's your top 10 at lap 22 of 60 in this second stage. We're going to come to the Geico restart zone. And we'll go back to green.
Bottom, all good here. All good, all good. 2 right behind you. No run coming here. To the top, 3 back, but you're good. 2 back top, 1 back top, all good. Higher, half with you to the top. You're still good. All clear, all clear.
Matt Kenseth got the free pass. He is back on the lead lap as Alex Bowman leads from Logano.
Mike, I'll tell you my decision why I want to stay out with no tires right now, because I don't want to be in that mess.
I don't blame you.
That is absolute chaos back there.
See Martin Truex there with Denny Hamlin running together. Vince?
Yeah, it's been a tough night for the Gibbs group. Remember at the beginning of the show, I told you that Kyle Busch's team talked about how important it was to roll off close to where you needed to be. All 4 of the Gibbs cars have really been struggling tonight, all with loose conditions. We documented Kyle's problem with that flat tire a little bit ago, but the 19 and 20 have both been on the splitter. The 11 has been wicked loose. He just made an air pressure adjustment. They've all taken significant swings at their cars to try to make them better. We'll keep an eye on the JGR team, see if they get better as this night goes, but we're running out of time.
Yep. Eric Almirola, he has been a pinball. Greg Galding just bounced off him, had contact earlier that brought him to pit road, but he is hanging in there in 31st on the lead lap.
Well, a little bit of that damage that we talked about on the right side of his car, that right side's very sensitive, so that might be causing him some downforce and side force issues also. Here's Tyler Reddick, rookies going at it. Christopher Bell, Tyler Reddick. Tyler's made some pretty wild moves here. He's put that 8 car up high, and it has stuck, and he's gone by, what, 2 or 3 since the restart. Top 5.
Another great run for the Xfinity Series champ.
And I talked about Christopher Bell. I really believe that team is starting to get on a roll.
Ryan Newman, he's in 17th, passing Hamlin. Harvick coming with him. And Chase Elliott, Bubba Wallace battling for 8th. Last week, Bubba had the Air Force, and they had that graphic scheme on the car from the A-10 Warthogs. Well, where did they get it? They got it from the World War II Flying Tigers. So, sorry, I skipped a generation last week, but you can credit both.
All I know is it's a cool looking.
Yes, it was.
Scheme. 3 wide with Harvick going into 3.
He is taking no prisoners tonight, Jeff.
Well, he has a very fast race car, and every time that he comes up to somebody, he just takes no time in being able to pass them. So that just tells you how good that race car is and how good Kevin Harvick is at maneuvering it.
Now, we had heard radio chatter that Martin Truex had thought that maybe he scraped the wall, but we did not see any apparent damage on his number 19.
Oh, you see some tire rub. We had seen this a little bit earlier when they were 4 wide, and with that whole incident that happened with the 10 car of Almirola and 18 of Kyle Busch, there was a little bit of a tire rub. You're seeing that pop up again here in this 6 car. Watch that left rear tire. You can see how it's shiny. Boy, you just hope that doesn't get any worse than that.
Company. Ryan Blaney is the one driver of Roger Penske's 3-car stable who has not yet been to victory lane. Vince?
Joey Logano there in that yellow 22 says he's got a little bit of a vibration. He doesn't think it's anything major yet, but a small vibration can turn into a problem in a hurry. And right behind him is Ryan Blaney. Blaney has really liked his car all night, but he says it's just a little bit free, high in 3 and 4. And if they can get that sorted out, he feels like he's got a car that can go to the front.
tough to watch that vibration on the 22 car. You know, we've had so many vibrations since we've come back. And you just wonder, is that, you know, something that's going on with these teams just not having the reps and still getting into that rhythm? Here's the 9 car. Chase Elliott, first car with 4 tires on that last caution, and he's already up to 6th place. He's making a lot of moves. I think he started, what, 18th on that restart.
He is quicker than the race leader on that last, on this run. On that last lap, he's quicker than the leader, and as you pointed out, up 12 spots from the restart.
And he's just able to carry so much more throttle. He can hold it wide open through 1 and 2, where right now Alex Bowman, Joey Logano, they cannot. It's just there's no comparison.
Which is really interesting to me, Larry, as we see him closing up on Tyler Reddick here. Earlier in this race, we were on board with him. You could hear how much he was, a little bit of help to Tyler Reddick. Hey, I'm coming through.
Yep.
But, you know, you could hear how much he was out of the throttle. So obviously they've made some adjustments to this car. The track's cooled down, has a lot of speed. He's got those 4 fresh Goodyears. Man, look at him just jump back in the gas right there, not even get all the way out of it, and just pull right alongside Tyler Reddick.
Yeah, Reddick looked just a tick loose into the corner, and that was all the difference. Elliott up to 5th, 3 seconds back of the lead.
Teammates going at it here. Ryan Blaney, you can see Joey Logano waving him on by as that hand goes out the window. And so far, you're looking at that 22, Joey Logano, 2 wins. Their other teammate, Brad Keselowski, got the win here on Sunday. His first win of the season with new crew chief Jeremy Bowens. Boy, wouldn't Ryan Blaney love to get into that category with his new crew chief this year, Todd Gordon.
There's a signal to Ryan Blaney.
Yeah, I mean, he knew right here Ryan Blaney has position on him. He's just showing that hand out the window just to say, hey, man, this is a courtesy. I'm not going to race you too hard as we get down here in the corner.
4th place for Chase Elliott, marching back to the front, right where he was Sunday night, right up until the caution came out with 2 laps to go and changed everything. Alex Bowman continues to be the fastest, well, 2nd fastest car on the racetrack. Chase Elliott was quickest that lap, with Bowman just a couple hundredths behind him. So 38 laps of 60 complete in stage number 2. The Hendrick Camaro. Alex Bowman out front. We're going to take you Fox side by side.
Getting to know you, getting to know
Get to know the 2020 Supra, now with 0% APR financing for a limited time.
Times have been tough lately. Fridays feel like Mondays, weekends like weekdays. But soon, that will change. Because soon, we will have race day. A day to be thankful for those off the track, while we root together for our drivers on it. A day when the red flag is lifted and the green flag flies again. A day that is just the beginning. NASCAR is back.
When you've got a name people know, you've got a responsibility, expectations to live up to. Even a few haters to prove wrong. You can't run from your name. You've got to be proud of it and honor your history. But you've got to add to that legacy no matter how big it is. It's a fire that drives you. Making sure that name can mean as much today as it always has.
Reliability is everything. So if your network's down, you're down. Verizon knows your customers need to reach you seamlessly. Your team needs to work from different places, across many devices. Plus, you want the security trusted by some of the largest companies in the world. And that's why you trust us, the most reliable network in America.
Friday Night SmackDown is all new. You gotta be kidding me! All the action. And here we go! The drama. Oh my God! The superstars. All new Friday Night SmackDown, sponsored by Progressive at 8 Eastern on Fox.
98 laps complete. Here's the fastest car on the racetrack at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Alex Bowman has now led the most laps of this season after leading more than half the laps last week. Ryan Blaney in second, Joey Logano third, Chase Elliott fourth. And where did he come from? Watch this. No, not Bell, not Reddick. Harvick. Well, passing him wherever he catches him. 2 wide, 3 wide, doesn't matter.
He is, Mike, and he just railed through 1 and 2. These two of Reddick and Bell got side by side, stalled themselves out. He goes by 3 wide. Then that brought Austin Dillon on by also.
So Kevin Harvick tops our list of Xfinity fastest lap cars a lap or so ago at 181 miles an hour. Matt Kenseth returned to the pits with a loose wheel. He's now 2 laps down, as is Kyle Busch. Brennan Poole has taken his car to the garage area, joining Joey Gase.
Well,
and Garrett Smithley.
Sorry, Mike. We documented that the 48 of Jimmy Johnson started at the back of this field. That last pit stop, they took 2 tires to try to gain some track position. Worked out, but now those 4 tires of some of these other competitors starting to kind of eat into that, as we saw John Hunter Nemechek go by, and now here comes Denny Hamlin for the position, 13th.
These two are running about 0.3 of a second behind our leader per lap. That battle taking place 11 seconds back of the lead. Not over yet.
Yeah, I mean, this is that stage of the race. If you're Jimmy Johnson, you know, Cliff Daniels, his crew chief, you know, made a bit of a call. Hey, let's get you that track position. This is a short race. He's got to fight hard for all these positions, because on that next time they come down pit road, you know, anything you gain here, you gain back on pit road, and then it gets you in a better position to start with 4 fresh tires that next run.
And you've still got 30 cars on the lead lap. Got a lot of cars. As Stenhouse come back into the picture there in 15th. 1 spot ahead of his teammate, Brian Priest. Boy, it's been a tough night for Toyota. Christopher Bell in 8th. Hamlin in 13th. Jones and Truex 19th and 20th. And Kyle Busch 2 laps down.
And Boyer, another one of those guys started in the back. I'm almost certain he also took 2 tires similar to Jimmy Johnson on that last trip down pit road. How about John Hunter Nemechek doing a nice job fighting for 10th place here. Sorry, actually, Boyer, he stayed out that last time. Didn't even come to pit road.
Nemechek completes the pass, moves up into the top 10. There's Eric Jones on Cole Custer, and that's 17th place. Behind them, DiBenedetto restarted 24th. He's picked up 5 spots, as has Martin Truex, which rounds out our top 20. 10 to go in stage 2. 7 different drivers have swapped the lead 11 times. Joey Logano's led 42 laps. That's the most. Alex Bowman's just led his 32nd lap of the night. Now Jimmy Johnson's fallen back into the clutches of Stenhouse.
You can really see that top groove and all that traction compound starting to pay off for some of these drivers. I mean, Jimmy Johnson went higher than I've seen anybody go through 1 and 2. I thought Stenhouse was going to go right on by him. But boy, Jimmy just railed on back on that top side. So we might see this groove widen out a lot more. You know, we've had a truck race, we've had an Xfinity race since Sunday. We didn't see the groove widen out that much until the very end of 600 miles. We're already seeing it wide. It might even create a third or fourth groove up there before the night's over.
Bubba Wallace chasing some stage points, as is Christopher Bell in 8th. Wallace in 9th, looking for 8th, Vince.
Yeah, how about that? 8, 9, and 10. Bell, Wallace, and Nemechek. It is big for Bubba Wallace inside that top 10. He and Jerry Baxter, they don't have a ton of resources, but they make the most out of what they've got. And there's a great relationship between Bubba and Jerry, and that has helped them as well. This is a team that they're going to get the most out of what they've got. Not going to be a great number every week, but they've got potential to rise up and have that kind of night, and I think we're seeing it tonight.
Agreed. Good run for Bubba here. Midway, we are past halfway, which means this will be a complete race tonight. And it's on to Bristol. Bowman now with 2.5 seconds on Ryan Blaney. Logano another second back. Chase Elliott another half back.
Tell you what, both of these young guys have been impressive this year. Just remember the great battle that happened between Blaney and Bowman at Las Vegas earlier in the season. See Chase Elliott there closing in on Joe Logano. Harvick not far behind him. Here's a good battle for 9th place.
John Hunter Nemechek, for a rookie with a mid-level team, punching above his weight. I mean, he right now is positioned ahead of a lot of cars that have more experienced drivers and more resources to work with. He's having a great night.
Like his crew chief, Seth Barber, he, like some others, came to pit road that last caution and got 4 fresh tires. And this is where, remember what Kevin Harvick said, late into a run is where 4 fresher tires tends to pay dividends.
He is second among the rookies as Nemechek moves to 9th place.
And I just think, you know, if you're going to be on the front row, yeah, 2 tires, no tires, you have to have that clean air. If you're any further back than that, boy, you really need that mechanical grip that 4 fresh tires bring you.
3 laps to go in stage 2 of the Alsco 500 at Charlotte Motor Speedway. 112 laps complete. Winding up stage 2, Alex Bowman has things well in hand, but Joey Logano's 3rd place spot is in jeopardy here from Chase Elliott.
Joey going to make it difficult, making Chase have to guess where to go, going down into turn 1. And that's what you do as a driver. You want to look up in your mirror and you want to make that driver think you're going to go to the low lane, so they go low or they go to the high line to try to get some clean air, and then you drift up to the top. Make that car really wide, you know, as we just close out a couple laps here in this stage. Another good run for Chase Elliott. It's going to go to the inside. Whoa! Oh, that was close.
Logano didn't want to give him any room.
Well, Logano really wants this 3rd place stage point. It's about to come here.
Alex Bowman rounds it off the corner to complete 115 laps, get the green and white checkers for his 4th career stage win, all coming within the last 6 races.
Young man's having a heck of a season.
Alex Bowman's won more stages than any driver in 2020. Stage 2 winner, Hendrick Motorsports, Alex Bowman. Stage 2 complete in Charlotte. Alex Bowman, his Hendrick Motorsports Camaro, is the Stage 2 winner. His teammate, Chase Elliott, finishes up this stage in 4th place. If Chase finishes within the top 10, you get free fried pickles at Hooters on Monday. And if Chase wins, you get 10 free boneless wings when you order any 10. Available at all Hooters that have safely reopened across the U.S. In between them are the two Penske Fords of Ryan Blaney and Joey Logano at stage end, with Kevin Harvick fighting his way from 14th up to 5th at the end of the stage. All right, pit road is open. Vince?
Joey Logano going to pit from third. Got a number of issues. One is the car starts off too free, and then about 15 laps in, it gets too tight. That's why you saw him getting awfully wide, trying to keep Chase Elliott behind him. Elliott's going to peel off first, then Logano will hit his box. And we also told you about earlier a vibration that Logano was feeling. He says it's about a 5 out of 10, but he can't call Wolf where it originates. So it's not giving Wolf much to work with. They hope the 4 fresh tires will help the vibration.
Getting 4 tires and fuel.
Saw the Jackman in the 12 car. Blaney had a little bit of a fall. Might have slowed that stop down slightly.
And the Ram race off pit road. Alex Bowman out front.
Harvick picking up a couple.
And Blaney dropping 2. How about Denny Hamlin picking up 5 spots on pit road?
Hey, let's dial up our stage 2 winner. Hey, Alex Bowman, Jeff and Mike at the Fox Sports Studios. Congratulations, man. You're starting to make a habit out of these stage wins. That's the most of anybody this year.
Yeah, I appreciate it, Jeff. Hopefully we can finish one off. I feel like the last 2 weeks we've kind of been a letdown with our finishing position, but run really good throughout the race. So really proud of everybody at Hendrick Motorsports. Our mile-and-a-half program is really good right now. And our no-go ChevyGoods.com Camaro is pretty quick, a little free, but loses fast, right?
That's right, man. A little dirt track in here, so that track's starting to widen out. Might fall right in the right place for you. Thanks for talking to us. Good luck the rest of the way.
Yeah, thanks, Jeff. I appreciate it.
Alex Bowman, your stage 2 winner for Hendrick Motorsports. 89 laps to go in Charlotte. Alex Bowman and Joey Logano will restart on the front row. Now let's have Larry take a look at tonight's Liberty Mutual race strategy.
Well, Mike, stage 1, stage 2, they're in the books. I don't have to worry about them. Stage 3, a little different deal here. It is 93 laps. Everyone will have to stop at least one time for fuel. But I have 3 options. I can come early when my fuel window opens, somewhere about 60 to go. Not real high on that one. Split the stage right down the middle, roughly 45 laps. But one I do like, go as far as possible. And if we do have some drivers that pit before I come to pit road and I do catch a caution, I maybe got a bunch of drivers 1 lap down.
A lot of choices. Clint Boyer too fast entering pit road for the 2nd time tonight.
Clinton, that 14
and John Hunter,
anything going their way on pit road.
John Hunter Nemechek had that great run up to 9th place in the stage, but they had a 19-second pit stop when the car fell off the jack.
Oh, that's a bummer.
He will restart 17th. Bowman and Logano on the front row, Harvick and Blaney, Elliott and Kurt Busch, Hamlin and Dillon, Wallace and Bell are the top 10. 31 cars on the lead lap. Kyle Busch now 1 lap down. Keselowski tail into the lead lap after an extra pit stop for crash damage. You're going to be listening to Tim Fedewa, Kevin Harvick spotter, and the number 4 as we restart.
5, ready, green. 2 by 2 tight. Push down outside, you're still even, 2 by 2. Still even, they got a little run at your bottom here. You're good. 12 still outside at your door coming back. Still at your right rear, 2 by 2. No push from the 9, he's 1 back, 12 still outside, nothing's on the 88. 12 still at your right rear, he clears the 12. He's back there now, outside and clear. Clear by half. You in the 22. Number 1 back to 9 on the bottom. 2 by 2 out back, still at your right rear side, 22 coming back even here. Sorry, Jeff, the hell out of you there. Still there outside. giving you a little room this time. Still outside, though. Still coming back to your door. Tight. He's got momentum. And it's 2 back to 2 wide behind you guys. You're in the 22.
2 by 2 there, 3 by 3. A little further back, Bubba Wallace made a nice move to the inside to move up to 7th spot.
It's not just intense, Mike, for those drivers out on the racetrack, but that's a tough job if you're a spotter like 10 feet away.
Speak quickly and clearly, and don't get emotional.
See if Chase Elliott can do similar to what Kevin Harvick did. Got position, side drafted Joey Logano into turn 3, has that preferred lane on the bottom. Here's Harvick coming after our leader Alex Bowman. We've seen how fast Kevin Harvick is. We're going to find out if he can get by this 88 car. I think that shows you just how much speed this 4 car really has right now, because we've not seen anybody be able to go up there and pass guys like the 88 or the 22 today once they have that lead.
Penske cars for 4th place. The Mustangs of Logano and Blaney slugging it out, and for the lead.
There's Harvick with that outside move. That's what I'm saying, Mike. He can go anywhere. You can see the 88 of Bowman really committed to that bottom lane. There goes Kevin Harvick to the lead. Wow.
Just powered right around the outside, and it's stuck.
And they unloaded this evening, or yesterday. they got it right, and it's showing right now. So obviously some guys are going to have to make a few adjustments if they're going to be as good as Kevin Harvick tonight.
Ricky Stenhouse in a rare on the bottom move. Usually first couple laps after the restart, he's right up against the wall, and he was.
He was inches away from the wall through turns 1 and 2. Again on the restart.
He likes it up there. Stenhouse up to 11th. Christopher Bell.
Jimmy Johnson making a move back on Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Got a big run off the top. Goes to the inside. Oh boy, when Stenhouse got to the right rear, Jimmy Johnson almost pulled him up into Bubba Wallace. Eric Jones taking advantage of all that. I think one of the reasons we're seeing so much action, a little more than we did on Sunday, is just this groove is widened out. That traction compound's really come in. There's 2 distinct grooves that these drivers can run wide open in.
William Byron on the outside of DiBenedetto, 24, working its way back toward the front. A bit of damage early on pit road. 15th at the end of this pack, led by Jimmy Johnson in 11th.
Got real loose. Tried to work that high line down in 3 and 4 because it's been working so good for him in 1 and 2. Didn't work right there.
When you make the tires angry like that, how long does it take before you really feel like you've got your grip back?
Well, first of all, it takes your breath away.
Yeah, well, yeah.
It takes you a lap or 2 to get your breath back, and then that right rear tire, yeah, it could take 3, 4, 5 laps before the car really starts to get the balance back that you liked.
Byron gets past DiBenedetto. That's 14th. And up here at 6th place, Denny Hamlin working Kurt Busch. Hamlin is your Toyota top performer right now, taking over 6th place from Kurt Busch. There are your top performers from Toyota. Vince?
And it's amazing that Hamlin has worked his way up just outside the top 5 because they have been dealing with a handful of a race car all night long. Denny has complained almost from the outset that the car is on the splitter. They've been dealing with loose, but mostly the splitter issue. But still, somehow they've overcome, and they've worked their way up now into 6th spot.
And Larry, that's with a whole different crew pretty much than what he had, because the penalty that Hamlin suffered for losing that weight on the pace lap Sunday night were what? crew chief, car chief, and one of the mechanics.
Yeah, for 4 races, Mike. Most notably, his crew chief, Chris Gabehart, and Sam McCauley is actually on the box along with an engineer that's calling this race. So, yeah, that was a big hit for this 11 team, losing those 3 key members for 4 consecutive races.
Well, a lot of depth there at Joe Gibbs Racing, and it's showing with Hamlin in 6th place.
And we saw this 20 car, Eric Jones, show a lot of speed on Sunday. Starting to show it again right here as he comes into the top 10.
Ryan Blaney finished 3rd here. Sunday night, Chase Elliott finished 2nd, and they're right back at it battling again.
Yeah, and Chase Elliott's pretty good. I mean, we saw earlier where he was extremely fast, maybe not as happy on this run as he was earlier, but I just think that goes to show you how good Ryan Blaney is right now. Oh, it looks like, yeah, the 88 of Bowman got into the wall maybe off of turn 4. Heavy damage, smoke on the right front. He's going to have to come to pit road to fix that. It looks like it got loose. You can see, Mike, the car must have gotten loose, and it got the right rear, pulled the right front around.
I saw Jeff on the ISO view coming off pit 4. He was all by himself. There was not another car near him. There he went.
Yeah, that started all the way back in the middle of 3 and 4. He was almost in the tire tracks of the 4, Kevin Harvick, trying to stay with him, and boy, the back end just stepped out.
So Bowman makes it to pit road for damage repair. And that's one less challenger for Kevin Harvick to fend off tonight.
He likes a loose race car, but unfortunately that loose race car got the best of him right there.
Harvick puts Timmy Hill a lap down, and Alex Bowman will lose a lap on pit road, at least one.
And here's a car and a driver we haven't talked a lot about on your screen on the left, Mark Truex Jr. all the way back in 20th spot. You can see that damage to the right rear. So he, we know how good he is at this racetrack, how good he is on the long runs. He said that he made some adjustments to try to make that car better for the shorter run. And then he must have gotten the wall somewhere earlier in this race, and they're really playing catch up now.
He restarted 27th. He's picked up 8 positions, but sits in 19th as we look at the battle for 3rd. Elliott over Logano.
And Denny Hamlin. And you mentioned it, Mike, the depth of Joe Gibbs Racing, when you have the loss of some key people like that, and it's not really even been a stellar night for that 11 team. They've played catch up from the beginning, but they've just slowly but surely made their way to the front. So that also shows the depth of this race team.
Well, and it's like a switch flip, Jeff, because for most of this race we've only had 1 Toyota in the top dozen. Now 3 of them are in the top 10. Hamlin, Bell, and Jones. But Kevin Harvick took no prisoners in his march to the front, and he is trying to pull away.
NASCAR is live on FS1.
We're going to go racing. We're going to crank it up for you on Fox.
The Cup Series, Xfinity Series,
have fun today.
and Gander RV and Outdoors Truck Series.
Another lead change.
All live.
2 laps to go.
Plus, get your daily inside track on everything NASCAR with Race Hub. NASCAR is live on FS1.
Welcome back to Charlotte, where with 64 laps to go, Timmy Hill has brought out the caution flag. 7th yellow flag of the night. He was running 30th, 1 lap down. I believe Matt Kenseth will get the free pass for the 2nd time tonight and get back on the lead lap. So when we restart, we'll have 30 lead lap cars. Kevin Harvick's been putting on a show.
Boy, he has. And listen, his pit crew's been putting on a show too. We saw how good they were at Darlington. Of course, he had that #1 pit stall, but they were pretty solid on pit road the last time that they were that they pitted here at Charlotte also.
So we're about to send astronauts to the space station for the first time in over a decade. And Rodney Childers was talking the other day about how he went to space camp. when I think he was in 5th grade, and just left a lasting impression.
I would have loved to have done that.
Interesting. There he is, Kevin's crew chief. Well, it's been quite a night. On lap number 1, Garrett Smithley gets together with Joey Gase. There's Smithley's car up in flames out of the race. Gase returned, but not for long. William Byron taking only 2 tires. Corey LaJoie thought he was going to take 4 and not John Force it off pit road, as he did. Well, Chad, did they know you were going to get 2? And then lightning and rain for about an hour. Kyle Busch 4 wide. Eric Almirola gets up into Kyle, flails the left rear fender, cuts down the left rear tire. Kyle went 2 laps down. He has since recovered 1 of those. Alex Bowman trying to catch Kevin Harvick. That's a tall order. And Bowman got down almost to the apron in 3 and 4, chased it up the hill, couldn't catch it, into the wall. He has stopped for repairs. He is 1 lap down as we have this caution for Timmy Hill with 63 to go.
And Mike, I think you will see all of them come to pit road. Biggest reason we had run right at 21 laps, but right here pitting, save a little fuel under caution, you can make it to the end.
Chase Elliott getting service on the left. Here's Vince.
Well, you saw that happy sign, and Kevin Harvick, that's his nickname, and he has been happy tonight. Rodney Childers, the crew chief, said, this is our last pit stop. We'll go to the end from here. Kevin said no reason to make any changes, and Jeff, as you noted, their pit crew has been spot on this season.
Finishing up with 4 in fuel, and Harvick is going to handily win what behind him is almost a 4 wide race off pit road.
I think I saw a little contact between teammates Joey Logano and Ryan Blaney there also. But yeah, boy, that 4 pit crew is strong.
Rodney Childers and crew get Kevin Harvick in and out.
What the hell? It's been good to me. I'm gonna find me.
61 laps to go in Charlotte. Just finishing up the caution for Timmy Hill. Time for our Credit One Bank ones to watch. Let me guess, who picks first?
I got the lucky draw. You know, I call Kevin Harvick Mr. Consistency. Going back 12 races, even back to 2019, top 10s in all those races. But listen, when you give Kevin Harvick the race car that he has and you give him the pit stops, win number 51 is coming for that man.
Well, Jeff, I call Chase Elliott. I got a fast race car every single week. With the click of a knob, 1 notch, Chase Elliott could have won 3 or 4 races here, especially the last 2. I think tonight he seals the deal.
Well, and Denny Hamlin has never won a points-paying race at Charlotte. 0 for 28. Tonight might be the night. They were bad early in the race, and they've just gotten better and better and better. And look where he sits right now on the front row for this restart.
Ryan Blaney finished 3rd here at Charlotte on Sunday night. He is the only Team Penske driver who has not won a race this year. He wants to get one for his new crew chief, Todd Gordon, maybe tonight. Those are your Credit One Bank ones to watch.
And you're still good with that pick, Mike, because we went back and watched the replay, and no damage, no contact between teammates there, Ryan Blaney and Joey Logano.
Eric Jones pitting out of the box.
You see the official standing there, and it is a lap penalty. So that's why the official is standing there holding him.
Boy, that is costly.
And this is Jones coming back in. He was thinking it was just a drive-through. No.
And where he was out of the box is the rear tires was out of the box behind the line, out of his box.
So he will be a lap down and will restart 35th. Kevin Harvick's going to lead them to the Geico restart zone. We're going to listen to Chris Lambert, Denny Hamlin's spotter, on the outside of the front row. Here we go.
Green. 1's off with you. 5 quarter.
about 2 out the back, coming to you, still inside. Right on you. Pushing. Inside, off of you by quarter. Inside 9, inside 9, gentleman 9. He's got no help by 2, you got no help by 1. Inside. Here comes the one with the run. 1, half, quarter. On you, pushing. Off of you now, still inside. Still down there.
Ricky Stenhouse, top to bottom, elevator move on Joey Logano, and he makes it work.
I'm just in awe, Mike, of these restarts. How these guys are able to keep these cars going in a straight line with all that action going on. 3 wide. Oh, here's another 3 wide. Almirola, John Hunter Nemechek, Jimmy Johnson go by on the outside.
These restarts are unbelievable.
They're incredible.
Boyer trying to regain lost ground after that speeding penalty.
Got Mark Truex Jr. down there on the bottom. Eric Almirola, then John Hunter Nemechek. Here comes Jimmy Johnson, Corey LaJoie in front of them.
That's 5 cars under a blanket right there.
Man, you talk about a tough job for a spotter. How about Austin Dillon? He's having a great night.
Coming up into the top 10, 8th place now, ahead of Keselowski. Keselowski and Byron. 9th and 10th now.
Well, Reddick right behind them. Teammate to Austin Dillon. Nice recovery so far by William Byron and Brad Keselowski. I mean, they both have damage. And they've had to fix a lot of that damage. Lose track position on pit road. Here they are in the top 10.
And shaping up to be a pretty good night for Richard Childress Racing. One more pass by Reddick, and both their cars will be in the top 10. Second place, 2 best friends. Chase Elliott, Ryan Blaney, and now Elliott sets sail for Kevin Harvick.
Yeah, I don't know if there was just a set of tires that Chase Elliott didn't like or an adjustment that they went too far on, but it looks like the speed is back in that number 9 car. Now I think we've got the best 2 cars that we've seen come through the field, and now they're 1 and 2. Let's see what they can do with one another. Really, best 3 or 4 cars, I think, are lining up this field right now.
Harvick restarted first, Elliott 5th. Blaney 3rd, where he runs right now. And here's Ryan Newman working on Christopher Bell for 15th.
See if that tire rub's gone away for the 6-car Ryan Newman. Now still a little haze. Hasn't slowed him down, hasn't cost him any issues. Hey, Stenhouse going after Denny Hamlin for 4th place. Great run tonight for Ricky Stenhouse Jr.
What a way to turn the season around.
You can see how important it is. You see that white and blue line at the bottom. It comes up the racetrack. You want to get your left front, maybe even your left rear on that white line to hook it, to pull that car around. Try to make that track as short as possible, have all the grip. You can see does it again right there through turns 1 and 2. Going to complete that pass on Hamlin.
Move Stenhouse up to 4th. Had a rough season for him since winning the pole for the 500.
Kevin Harvick not really jumping away from these 2 up front here.
Last time by, Harvick 5/100ths quicker than Elliott, who was a 10th quicker than Blaney.
When you're Kevin Harvick, you got control of this race. You've won as many times as he has. You run just as fast as you need to, Mike.
Here's Vince in the leader's pit.
Well, they didn't make any changes at all on that Kevin Harvick car during the last pit stop, giving you an indication of how pleased they were with it. They just told him, Tim Fedewa just told him, you're pulling away
And that's just going to be the case. Just because the way these cars draft, that big spoiler, that huge hole they punch in the air, when you're the first car pushing that air, it's going to slow your car down. If you've got a draft from behind them, you're going to make those gains. So Kevin Harvick's car is still fast in the corners, and it's going to make it very difficult for them to use that draft to make the pass.
Bubba Wallace, before the last pit stop, said he was just hanging on, just barely. Now he's 13th, just ahead of Martin Truex. And with 48 to go, we'll step aside, but you won't miss a minute. We're going to go Fox side by side with Kevin Harvick leading in Charlotte.
The new house is amazing. So much character.
Original crown molding, walk-in closets.
We do have a rat problem. At least Geico makes bundling our home and car insurance easy.
It does help us save.
For bundling made easy, go to geico.com.
There are people who say things aren't made here anymore. Those people should make a trip to Michigan, or Kentucky, or Illinois, where you'll find our workers and dealers and engineers and technicians building for America. We're proud to employ more hourly workers than any other automaker in this country, because we build for this country.
Sunday, live on FS1.
Drivers, start your engines!
The NASCAR Cup Series returns to Bristol,
It's Bristol, baby.
where the world's best drivers
It's about to get wild.
take on the short track of the last great Coliseum.
This is what Bristol is all about.
The NASCAR Cup Series live from Bristol, Sunday at 3:30 Eastern, 12:30 Pacific, on FS1 and the Fox Sports app.
return of drifting, drafting, the return of the slide job, ripping the wall, gas and go, bump and run, the return of loud. NASCAR is back, and Xfinity is bringing you the best seat in the house.
Welcome back to Charlotte Motor Speedway, where aerial coverage is provided by Goodyear. Recognizing those who are starting to help us all move forward again, Goodyear, official tire of NASCAR. Kevin Harvick leading with 42 laps to go tonight on FS1. 12:30 Eastern, football now with Jay Glazer, Ron Rivera, and Lane Johnson guest. And then Chris Myers hosts Fox Sports The Home Game. Aaron Andrews and Carissa Thompson are the contestants. 1 o'clock Eastern. Well, you saw it while we were in our side-by-side break. Bubba Wallace had said he was just hanging on, and it got away from him.
Let's see right here in that high lane. I don't know. It didn't really look like it got loose. We're hearing some reports. You know, he had a hub issue last week that he may have had some more issues with brakes and that hub.
Bubba made it to pit road and is currently 2 laps down. So, Larry, 40 laps to go in what is the shortest Cup race in Charlotte Motor Speedway history as far as a full race, not a qualifying race, to be held on this 1.5-mile oval. What do you want to do?
Well, for a couple of our leaders, it could be a long 39 laps, because right now, 39 to go, I'm showing Kevin Harvick about a half a lap shy. I'm showing Chase Elliott should be able to make it just to the checkered flag based on their lap times they're running right now, and with 39 laps to go. I mentioned when that caution came out, everybody would be coming 4 tires and fuel because that was just right on the threshold. So somewhere, depending on what kind of lead Harvick builds up, Rodney Childress is going to have him save about a half to 3/4 of a lap of fuel.
And Larry, that lead just closed down to a half a second. I wonder if Harvick is already starting to maybe pull some of that fuel back by letting off the throttle a slight bit more.
Now watch veteran Ryan Newman and rookie John Hunter Nemechek. This is going to be a close encounter of the sheet metal kind here.
See Newman just get to the right rear. Nice job of John Hunter Nemechek holding on to that one. When your left front gets right there, it can very easily just pull the air off that rear spoiler and suck it around. He definitely got turned sideways, but held on to it nice. And a veteran move by Ryan Newman. He positioned his car perfectly for that.
Whitmore closes in on that group. Looking at 15th through 17th.
I will say, Mike, going back to John Hunter Nemechek, I think the truck series really helps drivers for this type of aerodynamics, because those trucks, they have that huge rear spoiler. Side drafting really affects the trucks a lot, and I think this type of racing is very similar to the trucks. John Hunter Nemechek's one of those guys that's had a lot of laps in those trucks. I think it's paying off for him here.
35 to go in the Alsco 500. How about a Thursday night Fox NASCAR crank it up?
Absolutely.
That'll be 30 laps to go this time by. Here's your Credible.com race summary. Kevin Harvick, one of 7 leaders, 14 lead changes, and currently 27 cars back to Daniel Suarez on the lead lap. We've had 7 caution flags. Joey Logano and Alex Bowman are the 2 stage winners. 30 laps to go. Ryan Blaney still third, a little less than 2 seconds off of Kevin Harvick, and Elliott and Blaney are catching Harvick. Sounds like fuel conservation mode is in place on our leader here. His lap times have dropped just a bit.
Well, and Blaney's car takes off really strong, as does Kevin Harvick's, and it just looks like Chase Elliott's car doesn't take off as good. Now, are they saving fuel, or is Chase Elliott's car getting better and better on the long run and closing in on Harvick?
Or perhaps both.
He's there. Now, I think the only way that Chase, right there, Harvick had an issue, and here's his chance to go to the inside, side draft off Kevin Harvick. Use this lap car of Daniel Suarez as a pick.
New leader.
Wow.
Chase Elliott.
I was just about to say, I don't know how he's going to get by him unless it happens in lap traffic, and there the opportunity came, but you could see Kevin Harvick's car looked like it just went away a little bit as he went down to the bottom.
For the last 3 laps, Jeff, Harvick had fallen off to 0.2 of a second slower than Elliott and Blaney.
Well, I just thought he was conserving fuel because he knew he had to go a little bit further. He was a little bit short after that last pit stop, Vince.
Well, Rodney Childers had actually told him that he was good to go to the end on that last pit stop, and Harvick said just a few moments ago, right after Chase Elliott passed him, he said, I just lost all my grip. Elliott, meanwhile, had asked Alan Gustafson, am I good on fuel? And Alan said, go for it. 5 laps later, he was past Harvick.
Wow. Yeah, Harvick this lap 0.4 slower than Chase Elliott, and almost half a second slower than Blaney.
Well, it's just really odd that his car went away like that. I mean, it's the longest that we've run green with Kevin Harvick out front, so I don't know if just that clean air changed the balance of his car as the air pressure's built up in the tires, or if it was him having to maneuver around some of the lap traffic.
Alan Gustafson.
Well, boy, we all know that what Alan Gustafson and Chase Elliott are thinking right now. This thing is long from over. We're not going to get our hopes up until we're seeing that white flag and then the checkered flag after it.
Jeff, if I'm sitting on any of these pit boxes, I'm going through the what if. Through every lap that car goes around. What if the caution comes out now? What if it comes out? Because this is going to be a very long run. We have run roughly 35 laps on this run. So, and you can see where we have slowed down well over right at a second. So this is where you have to be thinking about what if? What if the caution comes out? What am I going to do?
But right now, one thing Chase Elliott's not doing is lifting. 30.53 last time by. And that is by at least a tenth faster than anybody else on the racetrack.
I think Blaney's a little bit better than Kevin Harvick is right now. He's just having a little bit of trouble getting by him. If he can get by him, he might. We're going to find out if he has the same speed as Chase Elliott, our leader. Boy, Blaney really made that look pretty easy, but here comes Kevin Harvick back. I just think Kevin Harvick just doesn't have anything to battle these guys back. Whatever he had, he is lost right now.
Larry, what could have happened to so drastically change the handling on Harvick's car?
Well, I think the track is changing, Mike. We've been monitoring track temperatures, and it just continues to go down. And, yeah, that gains grip, but it also changes the balance of the race car.
So Harvick, early in this run, was clearly the fastest car on the racetrack. And now things have turned. Chase Elliott, your race leader, 30.76 that time. Denny Hamlin matching him for lap times, and Brad Keselowski, but Hamlin is 5th, Keselowski is 8th. Larry, so much has happened tonight that has no precedent. I hesitate to ask for the trends.
Well, one precedent is we're only running 312 miles here tonight. So I had to do a little work on my trend of the race. And what I did is I looked at percentages. What percentage of the race did the last caution come out? Looked at the last 10 races here at Charlotte Motor Speedway. It happens in the last 10%, and that's roughly 20 to go, which is lap 188, which is exactly where we're at right now. So the trend says now, moving forward, we probably might get that last caution.
Probably might.
Probably might.
I love that.
I covered my butt right there.
Yeah, you did.
Did you ever think of running for office? Ricky Stenhouse working on Harvick for 3rd place. What a night for Stenhouse. He's had some tough ones this season already, but for this little 2-car team of JTG Doherty, yes, they have Hendrick Power, but these are their own race cars, and for Ricky Stenhouse to have this car in 3rd with 19 laps to go, he is ahead of a whole lot of bigger and better funded teams.
Started also promising with that pole position at Daytona, and then it kind of went downhill from there. Vince, what are they saying?
Well, what makes it even more impressive, Jeff, is the performance they've had on pit road. Because of where they're pitted and a couple of bad stops, they've lost a lot of positions on pit road tonight, and it hasn't mattered. Stenhouse has just gone back out and driven right back through the field.
Fantastic job. Pass them high, pass them low, kind of like Harvick was early in the race. Wherever you can catch him, you pass him. Sunday, we're at Bristol Sunday afternoon on FS1. We remind you the Xfinity Series race scheduled for Saturday because of the delay in this race to Thursday night. That will actually be Monday. Xfinity racing at Bristol Motor Speedway.
Blaney a 10th faster than our leader Chase Elliott that last time by. Ooh, big slide for Chase Elliott. Got really loose through 3 and 4. What is it about these guys when they get out front? The car gets that clean air on the nose, almost makes them really loose.
Well, we said at the top of the show, maybe the 3rd time is the charm for Chase Elliott, because he's had a couple of heartbreakers, 2 races in a row.
0.6 of a second faster for Ryan Blaney right there. Let's watch both of the telemetry. Chase Elliott into turn 3. Down to about, what, 20-25% throttle. That's where he got really loose the last time, so he's got to make an adjustment.
Now, Chase was 182 into the corner. Blaney was 180. .178 to 175.
Yeah, you can see Chase Elliott carrying a lot more speed into the corner. He might be carrying a little bit too much. He might need to just back that down a little bit.
And back at 4th place. Denny Hamlin goes low on a fading Kevin Harvick. Jeff, I don't remember when I've seen a car that fast, that good, turn that bad.
I haven't either, Mike. I mean, this is going to baffle these teams and crew chiefs and Kevin Harvick and that team. I mean, their car's been so good all night long. They got themselves in the perfect position to take this race, and then all of a sudden the handling goes away. I think that's the last thing they thought was going to happen.
Jimmy Johnson started the night 40th after the disqualification that came late Sunday night, the rear end being out of tolerance according to NASCAR. Series Director Jay Fabian said they did not see any intent to circumvent the rule, but they were out of tolerance, and the penalty disqualification. Johnson finishing 40th and starting there tonight is in a nice rebound at 12th. William Byron 1 spot ahead of him in 11th. Mark Truex in 10th, having a kind of un-Truex-like night at Charlotte.
Yeah, we've seen him just lead almost every lap here at this racetrack before.
Austin Dillon 9th. His teammate rookie Reddick is 13th. So 9th place for Dillon. And Brad Keselowski, after getting damage and a flat tire to bring out a caution way back at lap 29, has worked his way up to 8th, 1 spot behind his Penske teammate Joey Logano, who won a stage tonight, currently 7th. Kurt Busch restarted 4th. He's 6th right now. And Kevin Harvick finds himself in 5th, about 3/4 of a second ahead of Busch with 11 laps to go. Denny Hamlin, what a rebound for Hamlin, to 4th, behind Elliott, Blaney, and Stenhouse. So once again, Chase Elliott's out front in the closing stages of a Charlotte race with the lead, with the fastest car on the track.
Well, and I hate to say this, I said this in the 600, this is that time and that moment where you're thinking about every input, every vibration, every sound in that car, and then you're looking at the next car you have to pass, a slower car, hoping they pick the right lane, hoping that you can pass them clean, that there's nothing that goes wrong, and that there's nobody that spins out, has a tire issue. Well, that's what happened in the 600. These guys are hoping that and praying that surely this can't happen 2 races in a row to us.
Yeah, Jeff, the pace has slowed down. Remember, we went back racing with 59 to go, so we've run 50 laps on this set of tires. But I feel like if you can get within that 5 to go window, that you have to stay out. If you're up there like Chase Elliott is tonight, just like he was the other night, I just think when you're sitting here with 23 drivers on the lead lap, when you get down to about 5 to go, you know you're going to have only 1 or 2 laps that you're going to have to hold it off.
And there's the trophy in victory lane that awaits the Alsco Uniforms 500 winner.
Larry, as much as I think Alan Gustafson might like to have that decision back from Sunday, he's hoping he doesn't have to make that decision again here tonight.
You know what? I hope he doesn't have to either.
In Darlington, Chase got taken out on what turned out to be the final green flag lap of the race. He was in second with fresher tires than leader Denny Hamlin. He was in position to try to win it. And then Sunday night, right here, with 2 laps to go in the Coca-Cola 600, his teammate, William Byron, spun to bring out the caution flag. And I'm reminded of that Far Sign cartoon where the devil is poking the pitchfork at a fellow who's looking at 2 doors. One says, "I'll clean it up. Darned if you do." The other says, "Darned if you don't." And the devil's standing there saying, "Pick one." The guy with being prodded with a pitchfork was Alan Gustafson. He had to pick one.
He did.
Yep.
It was not an easy decision. And I think one of the things I'm noticing, the pace has dropped. The pace is the fastest laps these drivers have made tonight in the low 29 seconds. They're in the low 31-second bracket. And when you have a tire like this is a very hard tire to be able to stay durable at this racetrack. It's a very smooth, non-abrasive racetrack. You start to, then that pace starts to drop. You start to lose the downforce on that car. That car's not compressing. You're not sealing the air around that splitter the way you were. I think that might have a lot to do with these drivers having some difficulties with the handling on these cars right now.
Brad Keselowski just got past Kevin Harvick for 7th place, dropping Harvick to 8th. And even though the pace has slowed down, Chase Elliott's lead is increasing over Ryan Blaney. About 2 1/4 seconds right now with 4 to go. Denny Hamlin moved up to 3rd on Ricky Stenhouse. I know what you're thinking, Jeff. I don't want to say anything either. Nobody wants to jinx Chase Elliott.
Well, I mean, this team has been in position to win some races this year, and it just hasn't worked their way. And you know, you don't wish anything bad when guys work this hard and get themselves in position this many times. You know that eventually it's going to go their way, and you don't want to sit there and go, well, what's going to go wrong next? No. But you know, these guys have just had so many bad breaks. So with 2 laps to go.
But I like his attitude, and I liked his interview in pre-race. We're just going to race as hard as we can.
That's all you can do.
The wins will come.
And when you have a fast race car, that's what you fall back on.
You know what, guys? I'm happy for that guy right there on the right. I know we've come to the white flag, and it's not over till it's over, but I think we seal this deal. I'm going to be happy for Alan Gustafson.
White flag waves. 1 lap to go, sponsored by Credit One Bank. Can you hold your breath for 30 seconds? You might have to. 2nd place, Denny Hamlin. Takes it to Ryan Blaney. Hamlin now 2.4 seconds back. Couple more corners, and Timmy Hill ahead for Chase Elliott.
We did it, boys.
Checkered flag as a car spins through the quad oval I think that was Christopher Bell to the finish. No, it was not. Michael McDowell. Had that happened one lap prior? Oh, my gosh.
Right?
Not tonight. Not tonight. 7th win for Chase Elliott in his 157th career start. Last win was right here at the Roval 14 races ago. All 7 wins coming in the last 3 seasons and on 6 different racetracks. He becomes the 6th driver to win this season. Second place battle.
Well, it almost looks like maybe a tire went down. Michael McDowell right there coming to the line.
Tonight, finally, Chase Elliott gets to burn down the house.
When I saw his pit crew and Alan Gustafson, those guys, wasn't sure if that was jubilation or relief.
Yes.
High fives all the way around. Well, with social distancing.
Aerial coverage of Victory Lane provided by Goodyear. From race day to even better days ahead. Goodyear, the official tire of NASCAR. Hear that noise? That's the siren going off in Dawsonville, Georgia. Here's Vince Welch.
Well, after the week that they have been through, in fact, the last 2 weeks that they have been through, and all of the disappointment when victory seemed right there, nobody snatched it away from you tonight. After what you've been through, how good does it feel to be standing here now?
It feels awesome. Just, man, it's a tough week for sure. We've had some tough losses, but that deal on Sunday night was a heartbreaker. So it's not the Coke 600, but you know, any win in the Cup Series is really hard to get, and I really appreciate everybody at Hendrick Motorsports across the street here, and Chevrolet and everybody at the shop's been working really hard. Kelly Blue Book, Napa, Hooters, Mountain Dew, all our partners that have made this happen. Just appreciate it. Appreciate my team. Alan made a great call there at the end to get it tuned up, and luckily the run went long, and I think that fell in our favor.
What were the last 5 laps like?
I was just waiting for the caution to come out, to be honest with you. I thought either the caution was going to come out, I was going to break something, or I was going to crash one. So just after the last couple weeks, I just didn't think surely it wasn't going to go green to the end. So just glad it did, and glad we're hopefully back on the right path.
Well done.
Appreciate it.
Chase Elliott finally gets to celebrate a Cup victory here in Charlotte. After Darlington and Charlotte heartbreakers, and yep, everybody's going to be awake in Dawsonville. Sounding the siren at the Dawsonville pool room. A well-deserved victory for Chase Elliott.
Proud of you, Chase, buddy. How was you, man? Watch work.
And it's on to Bristol.
Can't believe it, though.
Chase Elliott's win tonight means you get 10 free boneless wings when you order any 10 on Monday. Available at all Hooters that have safely reopened across the U.S. Remember, with Hooters, when Chase wins, you win. Kevin Harvick fell to 10th at the finish, his 13th straight top 10. That's a career best for top 10 finishes, but not what he wanted. Here's Vince.
Yeah, I don't think that'll make him feel any better tonight, Mike. Kevin Harvick led the most laps and seemed to have the dominant car most of the night. And then what happened?
It just falls off at lap 30. I mean, we knew that's what we had with our Busch Light Ford, and then it went straight 60-some laps. So they did a really good job turning the car around, total opposite of what we raced last Sunday. So it was a good test session for us and just didn't need a long run.
Thanks, Kevin.
We thank Kevin for sticking around to talk to Vince. Martin Truex got up for 9th. That was the highest he'd been all night, was at the checkered flag, 9th place. So Denny Hamlin finishing 2nd, 2.2 seconds back. Ryan Blaney held on for 3rd, same as Sunday night, 2.5 back. Ricky Stenhouse, top 5, 4th place. Great finish there for Stenhouse. And Kurt Busch rounded out the top 5. Then it was Logano, Keselowski, Austin Dillon, Truex, and Harvick, the top 10. Corey LaJoie got up into the top 20, his first time he's finished in the top 20 at Charlotte. Let's go back to Vince.
Well, it's amazing that Denny Hamlin somehow managed to finish second tonight. There were so many times that he was screaming on the radio about the handling of his car. You were on the splitter, it seemed, most of the race tonight, and somehow you kept driving back through to finish second. How did you do it?
Yeah, I mean, eventually the air pressure built up enough to where it got off the racetrack. But, you know, pit crew just did a phenomenal job picking up a bunch of spots, and our whole FedEx team, you know, prepared a good car. Every time we come back to a racetrack for the second time, you know, our results are really, really good. So we're making good adjustments. I had a really good car. It's just, you know, needed to be a little better in the short run there.
Yeah, second place, though. Heck of a job. Well done.
Great result for Denny Hamlin, who charged hard in that whole last segment to get up to second place. Marcus Smith and the folks here at Charlotte, we appreciate all their efforts to get this track ready for half a dozen nights of racing here with Xfinity and trucks, 2 cup races, a rain out, and I'm back here tonight, Thursday night, to finish it off.
You know, Mike, we talked about this being a race almost half the distance of the 600 and how there's going to be urgency and these wild restarts. And then it all comes down to this long run where a lot of guys plan on shorter runs, like you heard from Kevin Harvick. And those guys that had those long run cars, Chase Elliott, Denny Hamlin, guys like Truex, all those guys started to rise to the top, and that's what got the win for Chase Elliott tonight.
So it's on to Bristol, Tennessee. World's fastest half mile, Sunday, 3:30 Eastern time on FS1. The Xfinity race that was scheduled for Saturday, that will be Monday at Bristol. As we pack everything up in Charlotte, NASCAR and Fox moves all our equipment up to East Tennessee. Back to Vince.
Well, in a strong run for Ryan Blaney tonight, he brings it home third. And I thought, Ryan, the way the car was coming to you during the course of a run, maybe you'd have something there at the end. What was the difference?
Yeah, I thought, you know, we got to second, and the 4 was really fast getting going. And the 9 got by me. I kind of messed up 3 and 4 and allowed him to get by me. And I thought I was kind of equal with him when we were both running the 4 down. And I just got tight. I was a little bit free all night, and we tightened it up just a touch for that last run. And it was the longest run we had, and we just kind of burned the right front off of it and couldn't stay with the 9 there late in the run, and then the 11 got by me. But overall, not a bad day for our body armor Ford Mustang. You know, just 2 solid races here at Charlotte. Just need to find a little bit more speed, but we're right there. I'm really proud of this team.
Yeah, getting close. It's coming. Ryan Blaney, third tonight.
Good run tonight for Blaney. Tough to do with those masks, I'll tell you. So Chevrolet wins and puts 3 in the top 5. Toyota second for Hamlin, and Ford third with Blaney. Tonight on FS1, next greatest NFL games. Then Fox Football Now with Jay Glazer, and Fox Sports The Home Game with Chris Myers. 2 races in 1 week. One the longest of the season, the other one of the shortest. Wow.
It was a fun one. We saw a lot of wild action. Started early on in the night. But boy, what a redemption win for Chase Elliott.
Finally, Chase Elliott gets the checkered flag ahead of a spinning car and gets to enjoy the spoils of Victory Lane. We'll see you from Bristol Sunday.